it's gonna be a good night here at Scotiabank.
What's it like going up against Brady Tkachuk?
Yeah, I mean he's a big, tough player. Hard to handle. Kind of guy that I like to play like. It's difficult, playing against him on a daily basis. So, he's a good player. I know he's a big impact player for them. So we're going to try to limit his chances and try to keep him quiet.
Is there a part of his game in particular that you kind of look at and you're like, okay, that's kind of the way I want to play?
I think it's just his size and physicality, the way he's around the net, the way he scores goals. It's in all different kind of ways. So something like that, I can definitely pick up and try to add to my game.
Austin gets the morning off, and the puck hasn't been falling for him during this stretch. What's your sense of how he's kind of dealing with everything?
I mean, he's been good. He's been, in up spirits. He's still being a good leader and good example for all of us. So, I think we're just looking to turn it around here. I need to help him out a little bit more. I think my game has slipped too. So, I got to look to be better. And I think it's all of us in this room that have to take another step. And I think we'll be just fine if we do.
What do you think of Domi's game the other night?
It was good. It was incredible. The hit, the fight, the goal. That's something you'd love to see out of him. That's the kind of impact you can make on a game. So I just want to see more of that from him.
Matthew Nice. So as he's speaking there, Stu, I was thinking, obviously we saw what the Panthers do the other night, where they all sort of created space quarter inch at a time. Have we seen, in your opinion, the full Leafs look in any game this year? We've seen some great moments, don't get me wrong, and we've seen various parts of the team, but have we seen the whole thing?
I would say no, right? And again, we have to appreciate the fact that there are some players having career years, and William Nylander, who's got 36 goals, he's second in the league. Mitch Marner, fifth in assists, seventh in points. Right, but for me, it's just I want to see a little bit more from the Austin Matthews. I want to see a little bit more from Max Domi. Could you imagine if Domi had, 7 or 8 of those games this year? Like that could be that could be an extra 3-4 wins. Yeah. They could be sitting comfortably, right? So I think they could be a little bit pedestrian at times. But the one thing I could say, the goaltending I think has saved them and covered some of the warts that were on in mid to early of the season. So I think there's another level. That's the positive, right?
Yeah.
And Craig Berube, in saying that, I think he truly believes that. So he's not resting on his laurels. And I'm sure that's the reason why he's mixing these lineups up, because he wants to see exactly what he has. Because, Austin Matthews should be sitting at maybe 32 goals. I know he's had his injuries right now, but, he's off the mark a little bit. I think there's another level to Nyes. There's another level to McMahon, who's looking for his first goal in 12 games as well, too, right? So I think the additions of Laughton and Carlo can help bring out the best of this group, because now everyone's going to be playing not above their pay grade, but exactly where they're slotted to be.
Yeah, I think you'd agree with me. From the blue line in, we've seen the best there. But you're looking for, as you say, like if you saw Domi play like that 5 games in a row, or Nyes play to his top level 5 games in a row, that's physical and goal scoring, and McMahon as well. And they all did it at the same 5 games.
Yes.
That would be impressive.
Yeah. But again, it's, negotiations, right? They always say, he's not consistent. And, other than the McKinnons and McDavids and the Dreisaitl's, other than those guys, everyone else is not consistent. That's the toughest thing to do. It's not like the NFL where you play 17 games. There's 82 nights you got to come in and perform. So it's not about, and I think that's where the Maple Leafs can get a little bit better, is you can't bring your A game. Coaches say you can't bring your A game every single night, but you have to raise the level of your B game. And I think with the Maple Leafs, what happens is when they don't bring that A game, it's more so a C or a D for most of those guys. But that takes, experience. It takes heartbreak, and I think the group has had that, where I think going into this last, 15, 17 games and into the playoffs, I'm thinking they're going to learn their lessons, and we're going to see a different team come playoff time.
Well, and what a difference a week makes. Last week at this time, we're talking about Marner, and the Leafs didn't get Rantanen, and Marner was asked to waive, and he didn't. But now it's a week later, and you go on to bigger and better things. Here's Mitch Marner on the noise from last week.
Hockey-wise, nothing. I mean, I'm just out here playing hockey with these guys, and I'm enjoying that.
Tree came out the other day and said he was 1,000% behind you. What did that mean to you?
Yeah, it's great. Like I said, I'm here to play hockey with these guys, and I'm excited for that.
Looks like maybe a new line for you tonight. Like, what's the feel with JT and McMahon? What do you think you guys can do together?
Yeah, we've played together before, obviously, this year, so in past years as well. So obviously, Bobby brings a lot of speed off the left side. He's got a quick release. He's got a great shot. Johnny brings just that steadiness of finding quiet ice around the O zone, putting himself in good spots, gets himself around the net. That obviously we all know he's got a great stick. So for me, it's just trying to find them in right areas and trying to find pucks to get to the net for good opportunities for tips.
Ovechkin's going for Gretzky's record. He's 8 back. As a guy who grew up watching him and I'm seeing him do this and competing against him, what's it like to see him this march to the record?
Yeah, it's I don't know the right wording, but it's spectacular to watch. It's really cool. I think a lot of people thought that record would ever be broken, or a lot of Gretzky's records will never be touched. So for him to only be 8 back, it's pretty insane realistically. I watched a lot of his highlights growing up as well, and just what he does with the goal scoring aspect is unbelievable.
What was it like to play with him against him as a young guy? Just he's such a bulldozer. That's exactly right. He's a bulldozer. It was a pretty surreal moment, first playoff series against that team and that powerhouse they had in Washington. So, he's a big man out there. He gets around the ice well, gets the puck on and off his stick well. He doesn't need much time, obviously, to get it on and off his stick. That's what makes him, probably one or not the best goal scorer of all time.
How important for you guys to reassert yourselves at home? You guys have slipped a bit, I think, record-wise.
At home, you're saying?
Yes.
We haven't been home in a while, so I don't know. We just got to, stay confident in our game, know we're doing the right things. We're going in the right direction. Just keep trusting the systems, trusting what we're doing, and, let the work ethic go and trust we're going to get the results.
Obviously, you were pretty young when the Battle of Ontario's in the early 2000s, but is it kind of cool to see that getting revved up again? I mean, they're trending up, and the buildings are usually a little more electric when these games come up.
Yeah, that team's been, up and coming for the last 2 or 3 years, and you knew they were going to eventually, get through that barrier. And they got a lot of skill over there. They got a lot of work ethic. So, like I said, we just got to be ready to match that and give more. And just know we got to play the patient game. It's not can't be forcing stuff. You can't be giving up easy stuff. So that's where our heads got to turn around, and mindset-wise, got to go.
Mitch Marner getting set for the Ottawa Senators, talking about the past week. And did you notice that? Look at that. Who was that? Was that Shabbat? He threw the puck in the Leafs net. He waited till all the Leafs left the ice, and as the lights dimmed, he threw the puck in the Leafs net.
Hopefully Morgan Riley didn't see that.
Yes.
You know what happens when that happens.
It was an empty net. It was Ottawa. Oh, look out.
Right.
Wow, that was sneaky.
Yeah, but again, that's the game within the game, right?
Yeah.
And
it made him feel good for whatever reason.
Yeah, so again, I'd rather that than to go off the crossbar and hit a fan. But again, it's going to be a big game, and I would not be surprised to see a little bit of energy and created energy, maybe some fisticuffs. I'm not hoping for it, but I would not be surprised because there's a lot on the line right now. And this potentially could be a first-round opponent, so I could see each team trying to maybe set the tone or send a message early.
Well, look, after Thursday night, everybody said that was like a playoff game.
It was.
You'd like to be able to say that tonight, too, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and Ottawa, again, they have a lot to play for right now, as, again, they have some teams on their heels as well, as they sit first wild card, Columbus, who's struggling a little bit as of late as well. So, again, I think it's going to be an intense atmosphere. And, again, you just heard the crowd. After that Domi fight, the fans have a thirst for that energy, and let's hope Toronto brings that the first period here.
Yeah, so let's get back to everybody sort of cranking or finding the next level. I mean, the reason for that is you need that in a playoff series. If you don't get that in a playoff series, that's troublesome.
You need it, right? And, there's guys that are legends in the game but make a living based off what they do in the playoffs, right? You know what the McKinnons do, the Draisaitl's, McDavid, they elevate, right? And, when you have the money, you have the success, you have everything, the legacy, I think, is important to some of these players. So I bet you it irks a Matthews, it irks a Nylander and a Marner, when everyone says, you don't show up in the playoffs, but it just shows how hard it is and it takes time. And, there was all the scrutiny for Steve Yzerman and the Ovechkins, and they didn't win their first Stanley Cup until they were well into their 30s as well. So it takes time, but I can see them definitely elevating in the playoff time. Marner has a lot of reasons for that to happen too. I think Nylander's been pretty consistent the last couple of playoff series, but Austin Matthews, I can see it. Maybe that's why he's taking his foot off the gas a little bit, because he understands, if it shows, 32 goals or 35 goals, but 15 in the playoffs, a Conn Smythe, and a Stanley Cup. Regardless if he has 10, 20, 30 this year, it doesn't matter. That championship erases, whatever failures you consider this season is. I don't think it's a failure. I think he's still an impact player, but I can see him elevating when it matters most, and that's in the playoffs.
Well, look, I mean, it's a little early for the direct comparison, but you remember at the end of last year how they went out of their way to try and get him 70. He's sitting on 23. Now, I know he's missed time with injury, but that's a significant drop.
Well, he didn't lose his powers, right?
Yeah.
And you don't just stumble into 73. It happened, I think it was Chichu who stumbled into 50 and he didn't, touch it close to the rest of his career.
Yeah.
You don't stumble into 70. You don't stumble into a $13.5 million. But he is a top 5 player in the National Hockey League. So, again, I'm not going to speculate. It could be injury. It could be whatever he might be going through off the ice. We don't know. But I think there's still some runway here, and I think it can be erased with the playoffs. So I'm thinking he's probably doing the big picture effect, saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to maybe rest a little bit, or I'm not going to push it as hard in some of the games, but I'm getting ready for when that puck drops game 1 of the playoffs, and that's where it matters most, and that's what I'm going to elevate.
Actually, I brought that up because as good as last season was, it didn't translate into the playoffs, so there's no value in it. It's great for the moment, but it doesn't move forward.
If he was a pending UFA, it would have mattered, but right?
Oh, please.
Anyways.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I don't know. I like my teammates.
All right. You sort of stuck me in a corner there. So we'll set it up further for you. Got about another minute here before we break as the Zambonis are out there resurfacing the ice. The Marlies played here this afternoon, so this has been a busy building. And with the lineup changes, you're looking for something to happen right from the first shift on, aren't you?
I am. And this Ottawa Senators team, they do have a tremendous amount of depth. They have guys within 15, 16 goals in their bottom 6. So I'm going to see Toronto not just match, hopefully, the goal scoring, but the energy as well. Nylander, I can see him being, getting a lot of early looks because, the matchups probably won't be as tough as him as he's on the third line with Scott Laughton. Holmberg, again, he's been great as of late. He's the fourth line center. I think that's where he's best suited. So the depth is there. I really like the depth. I like the balance. And I think that's going to, contribute to more success for this Maple Leafs team.
We'll come back and set up the opening face-off for you next. This is Leafs Game Night live from Scotiabank Arena on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
Joe and Lucy needed a new roof and reached out to Alpine Credits. I flew over to help them with a home renovation loan. I suggested they transform their house into a giant robot head, beams that shoot from the eyes. Pew, pew! Instead, they just went with shingles. But it's pretty glorious.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
At Honda, we take pride in building the CR-V Sport here in Alliston, Ontario. And with all-wheel drive, plus a suite of Honda sensing technologies, we made sure it can handle Ontario winters. But you're probably wondering, what's with the one-touch power moonroof? Well, Ontario, we hold on to the hope that one day winter will be over. Get ready for spring and adventure with the Honda CR-V Sport. Lease with rates from 1.99% for 36 months, plus get a $1,500 Honda bonus. OAC conditions apply. Made with domestic and imported parts. See HondaOntario.com.
Wow, you've got the latest model. Nice.
Oh, you should see it run.
Bell Pure Fiber?
Yep.
Sheesh, that's got power.
It's Canada's fastest and most trusted internet service.
Cool if I give it a test drive?
Promise you won't share the password?
Switch to Bell Pure Fiber, Canada's fastest internet, awarded by Ookla, starting from $60 a month. Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell, internet just got better.
Well, it's Saturday night, and the Battle of Ontario resumes with the red-hot Ottawa Senators in town. The Leafs searching for consistency and a return to the win column. The lines are shuffled. Will that pay off, or will they have to revert back? Well, let's find out. Molson Canadian Leafs hockey starts now.
It's time for Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Yes, they do. Welcome to Scotiabank Arena and Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050, the Leafs Radio Network, and the iHeart Radio app. The starting lineup is brought to you by Molson, the official beer sponsor of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the lines should stack up this way. Matthews between Domi and Nyes, Tavares centering Marner and McMahon, Laughton centering Nylander and Yarncroke, Holmberg centering Robertson and Lorentz, and the blue line would be Riley, Carlo, McCabe, Tanev, Benoit, and OEL. Stolarz starts in goal. Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart with you. Stu, what do you make of that?
Well, I think the Leafs fans can rejoice, as they've been calling for over a year now, getting Austin Matthews back with Max Domi. And we actually missed one of the graphics that they had on the screen here. In the 13 games that they played together last season, Austin Matthews had 14 goals, 9 assists to go with Max Domi's 1 goal and 11 assists. So, again, anytime goal for Austin Matthews is what I'm picking here. But, again, it's going to see how that chemistry works, as you have to find some balance and you have to find a little bit of, chemistry amongst different lineups. So, again, Marner has been great. Regardless of who he's playing with, he's got 59 assists, 6 for the National Hockey League, playing with Tavares and McMahon, who hasn't had a goal in 11 games. I can see him stepping up and elevating. But I really like this matchup with Laughton, Yarncroke, and Nylander. I believe they can be difference makers. They're going to have a little bit of an easier matchups playing against the other team's third line. Ottawa does have some great balance, but I can see them being a difference maker. So 3 lines now balanced out that I can believe add some offense that's going to make for hopefully some better results for this Maple Leafs team.
Yeah, there's 2 ways to look at it. It's obviously the lineup shuffling is to get more out of the Leafs lineup, but it also forces Ottawa to counter defensively, doesn't it?
It does, right? And I think for Ottawa, they don't want to turn this into a track meet either, as Toronto has some high flyers, as even Nick Robertson's drawing back into the lineup. He's got 11 goals, and he's shown that he can respond after called upon when sitting in the press box for an extended period of time. So I really like this balance, especially with Holmberg as your fourth line center. That balance amongst this forward group, which has sort of been helter-skelter the whole entire season, I think could be a difference maker in adding a little bit more consistency to their games and getting a little bit more easy wins that they've been missing as of late.
Tonight's coach's comment is powered by your Ontario Honda dealers. Score a $1,500 Honda bonus on the CRV Sport. Conditions apply. Visit HondaOntario.com. Coach Berube on Matthews' lack of scoring.
Yeah, no, it's obviously, it weighs on everybody. Like a player like that, he wants to help the team by putting the puck in the net. Listen, I said it before, he's getting the opportunities. That hasn't really changed from last year. It's just, it's not going in as much this year. But his overall game for me, I go off last game, he did a great job, defensively, and going up against Barkov, who's one of the best in the league. He's doing a lot of good things. We just got to stick with it, the goal scoring, he's getting the chances. You just got to keep shooting, and we need him to play 200 feet.
What have you seen from the team down the hallway tonight, heading into tonight's game, sir?
Yeah, they got a lot of good players. I think they're doing a real good job defensively this year. Allmark helps in net for him. He's a real good goalie, so it's going to be a tough game. They're a desperate team, as we should be too. And it's going to be another playoff game, in my opinion.
So, what's the trickle-down effect of the lines tonight?
Camp will be out. Yeah.
Looks like you're really juggling the lines here today. What are you looking to accomplish?
Mixing it up a little bit. Sometimes players get a little stale playing with each other for quite some time, and kind of gives us a little bit more depth on 3 lines.
Yeah, does a game like Max had the other night make you want to put him higher in the lineup?
Yeah, that wasn't a thought process, though. He had a real good game, we know that, but he's played with Austin before, and he's a good playmaker, and it's important that Austin has a playmaker on his line.
Coach Berube, and his description of Austin Matthews is, of course, 100% accurate. It's just the goal total. Everything else is the same.
He's playing a good two-way game. He's playing heavy. He's winning his face-offs. He's been immaculate in the face-off dot as well, too. He's killing penalties, so he's playing the right way. His shooting percentage is down 7 points from what it was last year. Just a matter of time before they keep going, and he's shooting the puck. He's got almost 200 shots, so I could see him, in these last 15, 16 games, getting close to a goal a game. It's just a matter of time for me.
Well, and the judgment is made in the playoffs. I mean, we've been through all possible regular season outcomes. It's the playoffs.
Would you rather him hit 35 this year or score 15 in the playoffs? We know the answer to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right? So I think that's...
he's got the Conn Smythe Trophy. Look out.
Right? So I think he understands that, and being in the league this many years, I think he understands when to turn it on and turn it off a little bit. Not saying he coasts, but he's doing all those other details and playing the game the right way. I think the puck is eventually going to go in it. He's very streaky, and I would not be surprised to see him with 7 goals in his next 7 games.
Here is Scott Laughton on where he fits in with the Leafs.
Yeah, it was good. I moved to the wing there and thought I'd make some good plays coming out of the zone. And, it was fun with them. So, just wherever they need me throughout the night, try and plug myself in and do the best I can and bring that physical brand of hockey and provide energy. And that's what I'm here to do. So try and do that to the best of my ability and continue to get comfortable. I think it was probably the best one for me so far, coming in and just having my legs under me and being comfortable.
What's the biggest adjustment on the ice when you join a new team mid-season?
Yeah, I think knowing the spots to go to, different systems and things like that. So it's a lot of talk with your line mates and the D. But yeah, that's the biggest change, I would say. At the end of the day, it's still the same game and you're going out there, but just little things where you're trying not to overthink it.
What has stood out to you the most about Nylander so far, being around him?
Yeah, highly skilled, very explosive, sees the ice really well and can rip it. So he's special and it's fun to watch him out there.
Scott Laughton, he'll be centering Järnkrok and Nylander tonight, and you detailed this earlier, but that's a pretty darn good-looking third line, isn't it?
Welcome to Toronto, Scott Laughton. Here's William Nylander on your left flank, right? And
pass the puck.
Yeah, Järnkrok has been playing pretty good. He scored the other night. He's got 2 goals and his 4 points, but I think for Laughton, he can just focus on not doing too much. He doesn't need to come in and jump over the boards and fight somebody his first shift. He just needs to play a good two-way game, win his face-offs, play physical, be a good penalty killer, and ultimately just get the puck to Nylander and let him cook. So I think they can be a difference maker, but I think if I'm Laughton right now, I'm very, very happy to have William Nylander on my left side.
As I look at this lineup, the forwards especially, with Camp out and Pacioretty on the injured list, I mean, this is it's evened out. It's really good.
It is. It was a little bit top heavy where it almost just turned over on its head there, right? But again, I like the fact that they've been a little bit reluctant to splitting up Marner and Matthews. Marner, I believe, is a driver. Tavares, 27 goals. He's just been quietly going about his business, scoring big goals. I could see McMahon breaking out of his slump, scoreless in 11. Lorentz, again, he's been okay, but it's that balance where I can see it. I would not be surprised to see the fourth line chip in with a goal, the third line to have 2, and the top line 1. So that balance is there where nights past, you're like, well, if the top 6 aren't going, Where's the beef? Where's the offense going to come from? I can see it up and down the lineup tonight.
Yeah, the lineup's missing a nothing burger, isn't it?
Yeah, it's missing an air sandwich. Yeah, air Whopper, yep.
I think we sort of detailed this earlier. You're looking for consistently a lot of guys to hit the next level.
Yes, and again, we discussed Austin Matthews, and again, I think he's going to really do that, in the playoff time. Matthew Nyes is searching for his 30-goal season. He has a lot on the line there, too. William Nylander, I think he's been the most consistent forward next to Marner. He's got 36 goals. I'm sure Lorentz wants to build on his 5 goals, but I think with the addition of Scott Laughton, that just sort of evens it out. You have a third-line center, prototypical, but it's going to now push other guys to be better. And Järnkrok, his first 2 games are underwhelming. He's shown that he can add a little bit of an offensive punch too. I would not be surprised to see him move even more up the lineup, as he's been known as a Swiss Army knife. So I really like this balance, but ultimately what it's going to do, it's going to set guys up to be more successful and add more production, which is ultimately a positive for this Toronto Maple Leafs group.
You can feel it in the building, can't you?
Oh, well, I can't hear right now because I got my headphones up a little bit more. Whomst? Yeah.
Well, oddly enough, they aren't on the ice yet, which is kind of seems to be a little delayed. But the officiating staff is out there and got no reception, none at all, which is probably the way it should be.
What time's the 7 o'clock game start, right? But again, it's Saturday night. The buzz is there. I can see the fans are already into it right now. It's going to be a big, big match. And again, I would not be surprised to see some fisticuffs. I'm not hoping for it. I'm not praying for it. But there is a lot on the line for both teams. I'm sure Toronto wants to respond after their road trip where they didn't really perform at a high level. And we know what's on the line for Ottawa as they sit in the first wild card trying to build on their 5-game win streak.
Well, and it is because it's the Battle of Ontario. It's a one-anthem game.
Yes.
And it's the best anthem, so...
There won't be any booze tonight.
No, that's right. That's a nice adjustment, isn't it?
I was saying boo earns, but again, I'm excited. When's the last time were you excited for an Ottawa versus Toronto game? I think I was playing in the league, and it was maybe Gary Roberts and Joe Nieuwendyk coming down the wing, scoring on Patrick Lalime. What a league! What a league! What a time!
Yeah. Okay, now they're on the ice, and we'll split. Ottawa here for the Battle of Ontario, live from Scotiabank Arena. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the SiriusXM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable.
Keeps this title charge on track, surely. To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on SiriusXM FC 157 and the Sirius.
What's up, Insiders? Oh, where did my mic go? There it is. What's up, Insiders? How we doing this evening? All right, are we ready for the Battle of Ontario or what? I am almost done with this desk. It is so close. It was back there. Now it's over there. We're so close. Only had to use a few different bits tonight. We're in business. We're in business. All right, TSI Allison's on her way home. Apparently, volleyball went well. So hopefully we'll have a good time here at the hockey game and the Leafs can get some goals because I need some happiness after watching that very bad TFC home opener today. There you go. Big shout outs to Shield, Miss V, Julia, Carmen, Andrew Hurd. Can't control life. Sorry, your sends are going down tonight. Can't control life. I can see the thing there. All right. I got the chat up on the TV over there. Kyle Barclay in the house. What's up? How are you guys doing this evening? I'm just going to speak for myself. I'm doing amazing. I love my life. Life is good. Just had dinner. What love of my life is on the way home. I got Leafs on the hockey. I got 300 plus of my best friends hanging out with me in the chat. Let's go, Leafs. Let's get the W tonight. Go, Leafs. Go. Go, Leafs. Go. I'd say get the chant started, but it's only 7:15. You know Saturday night, hockey night in Canada. We won't be getting puck drop for at least another 5 to 10. So we'll see you in the chat. Thanks for firing it up. Go, Leafs, go. Dr. Dupree, what's up, Dr. Dupree? Jeff Mitterling. Hey, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us during those college basketball games as well as we get ready for the SickKids Hospital Bracket Mania campaign. You guys see the logos. Check it out. The link is in the description. And go check it out. We got a big goal. We're going for something real big as we're going for 100,000 subscribers here on TSI. God. Time to go make a cocktail. Go, Leafs, go. We'll see you in the chat.
NHL Radio.
Dallas already was the highest scoring team in the league since January 1st. They're so deep. They made a trade. Like Michael Granlund there. Tyler Seguin may come back. Brantanen will fit in there beautifully. And another sort of guy drawn to the southern United States, no state tax team, good organization, and wanting to kind of set up shop long term there. So obviously it makes sense.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
If you would have asked me, what's the one record that would never, ever, ever be broken? Was the 894 goals. Every single day he scores, that's sort of the lead story in the NHL. And yet here's Ovi about to do it, and he's going to push through 900 goals, and he could push to 1,000 if he wanted to if he played 3 more seasons.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
The Battle of Ontario heats up again as the Maple Leafs host the Ottawa Senators, who have been red hot and have made up 8 points on the Maple Leafs over the last little while. Starting in goal, it'll be Anthony Stolarz for the Leafs and Ullmark for the Ottawa Senators. The puck is dropped and we are underway. And glad you're along with us. Leafs to the right, Senators to the left. Cleared down into the Toronto zone. Reversed into the corner now for Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who got it up on the wing, and Lorenz gets it out, and Nylander trying to catch up to a rolling puck on the fresh ice, and he will not. And it turns into an icing to start play. Some changes to the lineup. And is this the head coach trying to get a point across?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could only stand pat for so long. I mean, well documented, Austin Matthews, one 5-on-5 goal in the last 16 games. There's just, you need to get more out of this 5-on-5, and why not switch it up? You can always go back to the old way.
Played back to the point, kept in by Clevin, who sends a rattle around the boards. Chopped into the corner now by Scott Laughton. It comes back to the point. Clevin again goes D to D, near side for Montepallo, and a long shot is deflected into the screen by Anthony Stolarz. Let's give you his statistic. 13-7-3, 2.37 and a .920 save percentage. He's 2-3-0 lifetime against the Senators with a 2.44 goals against average. Linus Ullmark, the big offseason signing, is 17-11-3, 2.68, and he's 5-3-1 lifetime against the Maple Leafs. Most of that success, anyway, coming while in Boston. A sharp angle shot taken by Stützle was stopped there by Stolarz. The puck around back of the net is pushed back into the corner. Tavares couldn't get it. Ottawa with it again, sending it into the slot area by Batherson. Now around back of the net. Tanev couldn't get it. It comes into the slot area and is pushed up on the wing, and the Leafs are going to get it to the line, and Tavares, with a nifty little move to gain center ice, will get it to Tanev, who's going to launch it deep into Ottawa territory. Sens go back after it. Chopped in around back of the net. And both teams now completing their change as Zub sends it back to his defense partner to allow him access to the bench. Matthews with Domi and Nyes, the forward line here, as it rolls in on Ullmark, and Nyes provides him with a nice cool shower of ice chips to start this game, and a face-off coming in the Ottawa zone.
Well, you mentioned the Ottawa Senators on a roll, winners of 6 straight, 7-0-1 in the last 8. They've also, Joey, got a 4-game winning streak against the Leafs. Beat Toronto twice this year, held them with a 1 goal in the 2 games, and have won 6 out of 7 against the Maple Leafs. So, I know that's why a lot of people panic saying, what if in the first round this year?
Domi, a centering pass is deflected into the corner by goaltender Ullmark. Matthews out with a shot, and he ripped it wide of the goal. Near side, Riley trying to get it into Domi, but it was intercepted. And it's pushed out now by Amadio to center ice. In on the left wing, Shabbat will shoot it into the Toronto zone. Around the boards, it'll go back of the net. And the Leafs have some time and space and look to make an outlet pass, and Riley gives it back to his defense partner. Things slowing up. Here's the pass, comes out at center, and Tavares will launch it in. Bobby McMahon going heavily into the corner. Tavares trying to join him. Marner, after the puck in the near corner, slowed it up, but was knocked down on the play as it spun around by Tavares to the far point. Kept in there by Tanev, down into the corner, and it's pushed out at center ice, and the Senators, Tkachuk sending it down into the corner. He got ridden off the hit attempt there by McCabe. Nice bit of work done by your defense partner to make sure you weren't going to get plastered on the inboards.
You don't think Brady Tkachuk could do that?
I don't think he's ever done it before. No, would it be completely out of character?
Yes.
You definitely knew he had it in mind.
Yes.
The Leafs to center, and Tanev launches it high into the left wing corner. Trying to get around, Jim Taddy would sit down. His big head is blocking out half of the rink there. Long shot went wide of the goal. Rebound back to the net. And Gaudette will play it off the boards to center. Chipped in over the line by Highmore. Benoit takes his man back of the goal and around the near side. It cycled along the boards, but the Leafs come out with it. Lorenz, diagonal shoot in, but now will go in after it himself as it's in the middle of a change. Gets an offensive hit in, and Zetterlund will now get out at center ice for Ottawa, but his pass is knocked away. Morgan Riley dropping it back for OEL. Oliver Ekman-Larsson to center. Trying to shoot it in over the line. It's a delayed offside as it was partially blocked. Brought back by Cousins on the right wing. He has his stick knocked out of his hands as it's played around on the far boards and now back to the net. OEL couldn't get it to Riley. It comes back to the point. Here's Shabbat getting a shot away and sprawling to block that on a big play was Laughton. He's limping as he stays out there. Scotty Laughton sold out there and got a piece of it. Leafs bring it in over the line, and a drop pass then goes into the slot for Nylander, and he couldn't get it past the defense. Back to the point. Benoit plays it off the backboards and around to the far corner. Pinching down to keep it in on a good play there. The Leafs get it around the boards. Now Benoit blocking it. Played it back deeper, but the Senators have it, and they're going to get it out into neutral ice, and a change coming now for Travis Green's team. Coming up on 5 minutes played here in the first period. Has been fairly quick. Back down into the Toronto zone. Round back of the net, Tanev punching it on the boards for Domi. Max was the best player on the ice the other night for the Leafs as the shot goes wide of the Toronto cage. Nyes playing it back into the corner for Tanev. Freeing it up now for Benoit, or for McCabe, and onto the wing. It's going to be played high to center ice. Senators get it right back in again. Good play by Tanev to knock it away, and he'll get it turned around to the far side. Chipping it up on the boards, knocked out of the air by Tkachuk, but the Leafs have it under control in their own end. Tanev ahead for Marner. Rink-wide pass went off his skate. Shot back in, knocked down by Marner. Marner's going to play it off on the right wing, and OEL brings it to center. He'll just play it into Ottawa territory. Bobby McMahon in with a good hit on the end boards on Travis Hamonic. McMahon knocked down from behind by Hamonic. Got the puck freed up as he was on the seat of his pants, and a shot there is kicked away by Ullmark. He hooked the puck with his stick while he was prostrate on the ice. Not sure. Did you get an extra assist for that?
Looked like one of those glitches in the video game, didn't it?
Yeah. If I ever play one of those games. Played in on the right side now for Pontus Holmberg. A little stutter step move. Goes around back of the net. Back to the point it comes to Riley. Riley into the slot looking for Robertson. And it went off his stick, and now three Senators to center. In over the line. Highmore, a shot, the rebound. Big save, Stolarz. He goes pillar to post and gets his right pad in front of it. Robertson back the other way with a shot. Bouncing puck in front that Lorenz couldn't come up with. The one thing about the lineup that you have tonight, you've got some scorers on every line. And the addition of Robertson on the fourth line, although he did make a mistake there that Stolarz had to bail him out on.
Yeah, I still think that was a D-to-D pass. And Robertson at the last second thought maybe this is for me, and actually redirected it to the middle of the ice.
Puck in the Ottawa zone. Zub. A long lead pass. Oh, this is going to screw everything up. Now there's a whistle. What do we do now?
You
got anything?
Yeah.
Yeah?
The Ottawa Senators first. No. Now, we can say that, despite the rise in the standings, there's still a game above or below 500 on the road.
They have played well. They really have. Yeah. Travis Green has got them.
And before this streak, though, they had lost 5 in a row to fall out of it. Then Detroit has lost. Rangers have lost. Everybody, Columbus.
Domi centering in front, and Nyes couldn't handle the pass. Gets it into the corner for Max. Back to the blue line. Long shot coming, but it's blocked, and it comes out at center ice, and OEL will get it on the wing for Riley. Riley sends a bouncing shot into the side of the net. Zub hit by Domi. And it is pushed out at center ice by Ottawa and then played gingerly down into the Toronto zone. Stolarz, little stick handling fake, and the Leafs get it out at center, but can't get it in over the line. Riley again, near side for Knies. Knies ahead for Tavares with Marner. Tavares walks the line, flipped it in for Marner! And a big save made by Ullmark off a wrist shot from right in the slot. Nice play by Tavares to set it up, and we get an offside call at the Ottawa blue line to take us to a television break as the Maple Leafs and the Senators are scoreless. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Let the shenanigans begin. St. Paddy's Day Radio is back. An entire day of the greenest, liveliest, shamrockingest Irish music. From the Pogues, Flogging Molly, Dropkick Murphys and more. Taking over Channel 28 all day tomorrow. And catch up with the essential St. Paddy's Day pub mix. Anytime with SiriusXM on your phone or at home on your computer, Alexa, TV or other internet-connected devices.
NHL Morning Skate.
Defending Stanley Cup champion, General Manager Bill Zito. You have to be cognizant of the chemistry when you go out and make a potential trade, don't you?
We enjoy a little bit of a benefit now where the room is so strong that they can absorb a lot. We just want seamless guys who come in. Your leaders are Reinhart, Kachuk, Barkov, Bobrovsky. That part, it takes care of itself.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Hey, Jim Rome here. We have moved the program to a new channel this year. Now, you can find us every weekday afternoon live on Sirius 161, XM 206, 3 hours every afternoon, 3 to 6 p.m. Same program, my takes, some tremendous guests, and of course, your feedback. Have a take, don't suck, or you know you're going to get run. Content is still king, the jungle still rules, and it is great to be home. Put the channel on your preset, Sirius 161, XM 206.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
And it's brought to you by Molson, the official beer sponsor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Actually, the starting goaltenders were, but I didn't have time to get the commercials for you. But I did now, so everything's happening. We're good. Face-off outside the blue line, brought to you by Alpine Credits. You own your own home and need a loan? Alpine Credits can help. Get approved at alpinecredits.ca. Actually, parking down here, you could probably use Alpine Credits. Need more than a loan. Laughton waved out of the face-off area, and the draw won cleanly by Ottawa as they take it back into their own zone, and now out at center ice. It was blocked. Trying to play it into the offensive end was the Leafs' Brandon Carlo. Against the boards, Carlo gets it again. He'll find Morgan Riley, who steps up at center, and he shoots it in. Round the boards to the far side. A little mix and matching on the defense pairings as well, as Brandon Carlo now working with Riley. Oliver Ekman-Larsson had been. Now Giroux centering in front for Stützle, and he just missed it. Riley is able to play it out at center, but mishandled it. Now Giroux will send it into the far corner. Carlo to Riley, up on the left wing for Domi. Domi taking his time, got it ahead. Too far for Scotty Laughton, who's heading to the bench. Back come the Senators. No score, first period. Played into the zone, and it is McCabe. Kind of lost an edge as he hit the end boards. Gets the puck into the far corner. Tanev races after it as it comes back to the blue line. D to D for Artem Zub. Zub gets it into the slot area. Backhanded around the boards to the far side. A shot taken there, deflected in on goal, stopped by Stolarz. 3 shots apiece here in the first period. Zub's drive went well wide of the net. Pinching down is Jake Sanderson to play it around the boards. Near side now, trying to keep it in with Sanderson, who gets into the corner. The puck comes back along the boards, looking for it is Amadio. He'll play to the far side. Centering pass, blocked again by Stolarz. And the Leafs hemmed in their own end, and now the puck goes off a stick and up into the screen. and is out of play with 10:15 left to play here in the first period, and there's no score.
Well, from a Leafs standpoint, like we said, the last time they defeated the Ottawa Senators, December 8th, 2023. Here against the Senators was a 4-3 win, but the Leafs, it's been a struggle. 1 win in the last 5 games, 1-3-1 in that stretch. And they've given up 3 or more goals in a game in 6 straight. And as much as we can talk about Austin Matthews and the goal scoring, I think what we were so impressed with this team in the first 2 months of the season was defense and how they were harder to play against. And that really hasn't been the case since Christmas, has it? Just more opportunities against, leading to more goals against.
Draw to the right in the Toronto zone. Pontus Holmberg playing center on this line with Robertson and Steven Lorenz. Had a nice chat with Steven Lorenz before the game. He said, I told him I took the GO train. He said, I should too, but I walked this time. He said, it's too crowded down here. Here's Robertson in over the line, plays the puck in wide of the net. Grabbed off by Lorenz, back to the point. It comes on the wing for Robertson, closing! Oh, and he snapped it over high. Boy, if he hits the net, Ullmark was way out of position. He lost his angle and lost the net.
Yeah, there was room far side, glove side, wasn't there?
Puck in the Toronto zone. Bank pass out at center, off Tavares into the Ottawa end. It goes around back of the net. The Leafs come away with the loose puck, trying to get it in front. Flicked along the boards then by McMahon. It'll be played to the line and out. Good play there by Marner, and that turns into an icing as a result, as he was diligent on the checking on the Ottawa defender right at the Ottawa blue line. And an icing call will bring it back into Ottawa territory. 9:24 to go in the first period. Still no score.
Ottawa Senators have not made the playoffs since 2016-17. They went to the conference finals. Overtime, Game 7 of the conference, or Game 6 against Pittsburgh. And haven't been back since. It goes to show you how quick that window can close, right?
Puck around, down into the Toronto zone. Here's Laughton skating to center, hounded from behind, and that hounding took the puck away from him. Brady Tkachuk in on the left wing, a little toe drag move, and his shot went off Brandon Carlo. Leafs get the puck back out at center ice, and Shabbat comes D-to-D to Hamonic. Travis Hamonic will play it in over the line. Tkachuk got it into the far corner, heads to the front of the net as it comes back to the point. A shot is blocked and is grabbed off by Nylander, who starts out of his own end. Willie comes to the red line, slowly to the blue line, got it over the line, but Giroux took the puck away from him and now has iced it. And the Leafs are going to get back in time to produce that icing, and it will be brought back into Ottawa territory.
You say maybe Mitch Marner and the opportunity by Nick Robertson have been the best scoring chances of the period.
Yep.
Ottawa had the one in the 2-on-1 when Stolarz came over and had to make the stop. So really, out of the 9 shots on goal we've seen so far, only the 2 of them that have hit the net would be scoring chances.
Backhand off the face-off by Nyes, went off the side of the net and grazed the goalpost. I don't think it would have gone in. It certainly looked like Ullmark had a piece of that post, and a good bit of hustle here by Tanev is going to produce an icing.
And one of the big reasons for the resurgence of the Ottawa Senators, Matthew Tkachuk, since missing the 2 games of the injury after the Four Nations tournament, 6 goals, 8 points in the last 7 games. And talking to Dean Brown and Gord Wilson, the Ottawa radio guys, they say he has been absolutely phenomenal in leading this team back into the hunt.
At the point, a shot deflects wide of the Ottawa goal. Chopped by Domi, but not kept in. And a pass to the far side for Matthews. He tried to spin it in front, was too well covered. Nyes helps out in the far corner. Played it around the boards. It'll find the point. Kept in by Morgan Riley with a long shot. That got through and was steered wide by Ullmark. Stützle will find his defense partner, and a lead pass is deflected by Giroux down into the Leaf end to allow change for both players, or both teams rather. 7:47 left to go in the first period. No score. Leafs Tavares. Stick handles out of his own zone to get it ahead for Bobby McMahon. McMahon chipped it in over the line. Tavares had to pull up at the blue line, so there's no pressure. And now it is shot out and down the ice by Ottawa, and another icing coming here against the Senators.
How many's out in the last 5 minutes?
17.
4 or 5. What's the record?
18.
What year?
Well, it was the first Senators, and that was back in 1904, I believe. Yeah. Sure, it was one of their Stanley Cup years, as I recall.
You know, somebody's Googling that right now.
I know,
right?
yeah. Just to prove us wrong.
Yeah. We were so much better before the internet.
Oh, were we ever? Because the stuff we made up was actually true. Well, for a bit. Senators get the puck to center, shoot it in, and they'll change again because of the icing. And the Leafs are back in their own zone as McCabe got a pass into neutral ice, cut off by Drake Batherson. They regroup the pocket on the right wing. It's backhanded by Dylan Cousins into the Leaf end. Out of the net, Stolarz punches it off the glass and into the screen. And so there will be a face-off in the Toronto zone with 7:03 to play in the period. The Leafs nothing and the Sens nothing. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sounds of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
You ready to go coast to coast? Thursday night. Why watch one game when you can watch them all? NHL Coast to Coast on Prime. Catch every pivotal moment every Thursday night live. 11 games are on tap. 4 Canadian teams in action. Oh! Brady Tkachuk in the house. It's time to go game to game, goal to goal, coast to coast.
Oh, buckle up. Let's go. Get your popcorn ready.
NHL Coast to Coast. Free preview Thursday night on NHL.com.
This is a message from United Way to a Jesse M. of Mississauga. Hello, Jesse. You might be wondering why we made an ad specifically for you. Because, Jesse, you see, we're fighting poverty any way we can. Even cold calling a complete stranger over the radio. Bold, isn't it? Together, we can make sure everyone has what they need, like food, housing, good jobs, and mental health supports. Join people like Jesse to build a better GTA. Donate today at unitedwaygt.org. Thanks, Jesse.
Speaking of the Battle of Ontario, Curtis Joseph is in the house. All we need now is Mick Magoo.
Yeah, unfortunately lost Mick a couple of years ago, but that was... What was it, Game 3 of that series in Ottawa? Curtis Joseph came out to argue a goal.
One of the funniest things I think we've seen. At the time, it didn't seem so funny, but after watching it over and over again, Curtis just kind of lost an edge, and down they went, and then everything exploded, right? Tkachuk plays it down into the Toronto zone. Tanev chased hard by Stützle. The puck comes up on the wing, and the Leafs drop it off, and a lead pass finds Nyes. Nyes in on the right side, pulls up, got it into the slot for McCabe. Backhand shot, good save, Ullmark. Right pad getting out, and again it's shot down the ice, and Tanev put that machine into neutral in order to make sure it was icing.
And then last opportunity by Jake McCabe. Austin Matthews pulled up on the far post, glove side on Ullmark. If he headed to the front of the net, that rebound would have been right onto his stick.
Face off to the left of Ullmark. Draw one by Ottawa. The shots are 6-5 in favor of the Senators as OEL goes back into his own zone to get it up ahead for Scotty Laughton. Laughton looking for his first point as a Leaf. Got it across the line. In on the wing is Nylander with a backhand pass into the slot area. He had OEL going down from his defensive position. Puck on the near boards for Dylan Cousins. Tied up there by the Leafs. A puck came free, but unable to get to it was Calle Järnkrok. And now brought out at center ice by Ottawa to center, and it is Cousins getting it in on the left wing. Into the slot, a shot down is Stolarz, and he's caught that and is holding on. We've got Jay Michelin sitting up with us in the box. He is part of the Bill. It's Bill Cameron. Yes, a golf tournament down in Sarnia. Bill Cannon, who we've done for a number of years, and so he's our guest.
Yeah, that's good. I think his second prize is 2 games with us.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it'll be second prize. Yeah. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
MLB Network Radio is getting you ready for the season, talking with the best players in baseball.
Here with
Cheers, basketball fans. Who are you rooting for today in this matchup? Well, get loud in the chat, cheer them on, and hang out with a bunch of people from all over the world. And while we're doing that, the main reason is this SickKids Hospital and Toronto Sports Insider Bracket Mania campaign that is now live. It is underway. Please check the link that is in the description as well as pinned in the chat. And donate if you are able. If not, please share it out. We are going to raise, the goal is at least $100,000 for SickKids Hospital from now until a champion is crowned at the Final Four. We'll see you back in the chat. Go, whichever team it is you're going for. Go Gators.
Was the 894 goals. Every single day he scores, that's sort of the lead story in the NHL. And yet here's Ovi about to do it, and he's going to push through 900 goals, and he could push to 1,000 if he wanted to. He played 3 more seasons.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
No score. First period has 5:56 left in it. Face off to the right of Anthony Stolarz. And the Ottawa player gets waved out. Kachuk's going to move in. And the draw scrummed, but controlled by the Maple Leafs, and McCabe gets it up on the left wing, and McMahon gets it to center ice. Giroux played it back down into the Toronto zone. Stolarz traps it back at the net, and now the outlet pass for Tavares gets up on the left wing, brought to the red line, and shot high and into the zone by McCabe. Senators with the puck, good hit by McMahon, but now McCabe can't keep it in, and an odd man rush, and it's turning into a 3-on-1, in over the line. Giroux, stop the rebound off the goal post. Another shot is stopped, it comes back to the blue line. Kept alive by Giroux. Back to the point again, another shot. This one is blocked, and it comes out at center ice. Huge save by Stolarz again. Sends back into the attack. Highmore around back of the net. Cycles it back to the goal for Zetterlund. Zetterlund will send it around the boards to the far side. Cleveland keeping it in at the point it comes. Here's Montepallo with a shot that went high and wide. Benoit takes his man to the boards, and so does Pontus Holmberg. It comes back to the point, though. Into the slot area. Highmore with a shot that went wide. Leafs still can't get their stick on the puck. Down into the corner for Gaudette. Adam Gaudette is taken to the boards. Puck is still free, though. Pushed along into the far corner. Zetterlund gets there and comes out with a pass. Oh, we had 3 Senator players there, and they all missed it. Wow, how did that happen?
I think he got it just a little elevated, didn't he?
I guess. But he had 3 guys that were unmarked, that any one of them could have redirected that pass. And no contact made. Puck to the blue line and not in. Leafs quickly the other way with Matthews. With Domi, who takes the pass. Max stops up, got a pass in for Nyes. Oh, and a rodel in front of the net. Matthews is hauled down, no call. Puck at the point, kept in by Riley.
The official made some sort of motion like it was a hook, but the arm never went up.
A long shot goes wide of the Leaf goal. Near side, Zub is able to keep it in. Took a hit there from Nyes, who gets a pass on the left wing, and now is just going to flip it into Ottawa territory to allow a change of players. 3.5 minutes to go. Here's Gregg getting in over the line. Ridley Gregg played it around back of the net. Tipped along the boards. Laughton got it freed up. Played up on the wing now, and Robertson is rubbed out, but he gets the puck and does the job and gets it to center. In on the left wing it comes. A big hit there, and Laughton gets flattened. Travis Hamonic stood him up. And then knocked down in front of the net was Nylander. Played back down into the Toronto zone. Puck around the boards to the near side. Chabot traps. His shot was well wide of the goal. Yarncrook chases after the puck, but it goes back to the net. And it is pushed along the wall then by the Maple Leafs' Tanev, who now has it again, and Chris Tanev goes back behind the net. 2:43 to go. No score. Look at Stolarz and Stützle playing eyeball to eyeball with one another out at the top of the crease. That was kind of comical. Oh, I found it funny.
Might be the most action we've had in this period. I mean, the Battle of Ontario so far is sort of like a mild disagreement, isn't it?
There's Tavares flipping it into the left wing corner. Sens get to it and rattle around the boards, but it's pushed back in again by Carlo. Down around back of the net for Clevin, trying to get it in front. It comes to the side of the goal, and it was centered in front, but Marner was unable to reach it. Played by Marner back into the corner for Bobby McMahon. Marner intercepts a pass to Tavares in front of the net, who played it back to the point, but Riley couldn't get a shot towards the net. It goes to the far boards. Carlo works down into the corner. Brandon Carlo to Tavares. Tavares working it back along the boards to Riley at the blue line. He walks the line. Riley trying to flip it in. He had Domi going to the net. And the Sens intercept and send it out at center, and the Leafs are going to try and press in again. Here's Matthews singing around the boards to the far side for Max. Domi gets it into the corner. Now here's Nyes trying to work out in front of the net. Works it back to the blue line. Trying to keep it in on the wall was McCabe, but it fails, and now here the Senators in on goal, and the shot is deflected by Domi's stick up into the screen and out of play.
Well, that's twice though in the period, Joe. Jake McCabe has been caught in a pinch. This time it was more the pass was deflected before it got to him, so he got caught flat-footed, and the Senators take off the other way.
A couple of big saves by the Maple Leafs' Anthony Stolarz, though.
And it just, they haven't come out with the energy they needed, right? You know, the shots again, only 5 shots on goal for the Leafs with a minute 14 to go in the first period. Ottawa with 10. And I would say for the first 15 minutes, the Leafs had a slight territorial edge, but Ottawa has come up with the better scoring chances here in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
There's been a buzz in the building, though. Gaudette being waved out of the face-off circle. Puck is dropped. It comes back to the point. Long shot blocked. Grabbed off by the Maple Leafs. A pass alley-oop towards the net for Robertson. Robertson got there to deny icing. Puck into the corner. Robertson with it now around back of the net. Stops up. Got it into the slot. Back to the point. It comes in a drive by Carlo. Went wide of the net. Kept in by OEL along the boards and into the near corner. Round the wall, it goes to the far point. Carlo will reverse it and send it right back. Centering pass then by the Maple Leafs. Lorenz didn't connect. Here's a Robertson trying to center, and it went off his skate. Played up on the wing, and Gaudette will skate out at center, just playing it to the line and in over the line, and now the Leafs have it again. Changes for both teams with a half minute to go in the period, a scoreless period. Oliver Ekman-Larsson up on the wing, too far for Nylander. Pushed back the other way by Tkachuk. In across the line for Stützle. To the left wing side, Chabot. Chabot down into the corner, goes around back of the net. Chipped by Yarncrook, and it went wide. It comes around the boards. It's going to escape and come to center ice with just 6 seconds left in the period now. And the final seconds will tick down as it goes down into the Ottawa zone. So nothing decided in the first period. Shots are 10-5 favoring the Senators, but there is no score on the board.
Like we said, the Leafs trying to snap a 4-game streak, losing streak against the Ottawa Senators. They've only scored 1 goal in the 2 previous games against Ottawa. And you remember when the Leafs got shut out at home, it was their first time shut out at home in almost 2 years. Linus Ullmark with the goose egg den, and he's perfect 5 for 5 on the opening 20 minutes of this one.
No score. First period concluded. And we've got Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart coming along with our intermission. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. The world's most thrilling league is now in the palm of your hand. Hear every English Premier League match all season long on the Sirius XM app. Just search for your favorite team. NHL Morning Skate.
Defending Stanley Cup champion, General Manager Bill Zito. You have to be cognizant of the chemistry when you go out and make a potential trade, don't you?
We enjoy a little bit of a benefit now where the room is so strong that they can absorb a lot. We just want seamless guys who come in. Your leaders are Reinhart, Kachuk, Barkov, Bobrovsky. That part, it takes care of itself.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
General Manager of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff. What would finishing first overall mean to the organization, Kevin?
Well, I think anytime that, you can finish in an area where you're getting recognized, it's special. But again, the important thing for us is process. Is when we buy into playing the way we need to play, then, we feel comfortable that we'll win more games than not. And then you let the chips fall where they may.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
For months, I've been listening to hockey people warn the Sabres. Don't move on from Dylan Cousins. This is the one you'll regret. The fact that you're trading in division is amazing to me. This guy can come back and haunt you like every Sabre does. But if I'm an Ottawa Senator fan, Jake, I'm over the moon on this trade.
Points with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the Sirius XM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable. Keeps this title charge on track, surely.
To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Just search for your favorite club.
Nothing puts you closer to the action than Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Dallas already was the highest scoring team in the league since January 1st. They're so deep. They made a trade, like Michael Granlund there. Tyler Seguin may come back. Rantanen will fit in there beautifully. And another sort of guy drawn to the southern United States, no state tax team, good organization, and wanting to kind of set up shop long term there. So obviously it makes sense.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91. The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
If you would have asked me, what's the one record that would never, ever, ever be broken? Was the 894 goals. Every single day he scores, that's sort of the lead story in the NHL. And yet here's Ovi about to do it, and he's going to push through 900 goals, and he could push to 1,000 if he wanted to. If he played 3 more seasons.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Canadian Leafs hockey is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
And it is scoreless after 20 minutes of play. Welcome back to Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network from Scotiabank Arena. And after 20 minutes is driven by Subaru. Get out in winter with standard, symmetrical, full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. So I had to play this game. Which 20 minutes did you like? The Ottawa 20 or the Leafs 20?
Well, it was a period for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't think it was ideal, as again, I think Stolarz was worked a little bit too much. 10 shots, and a lot of those were legitimate scoring chances, second and third opportunities. So I think for Toronto, they turned in a little bit of a track meet in that first period. 7 giveaways to Ottawa's 1. They have to manage the puck a little bit better. They got caught a little bit in their D zone on the cycle play. So Ottawa, I think, played a picture-perfect perfect type period. But again, Toronto did a pretty good job in countering. They had some cycles of their own. They had 2 or 3 scoring chances. You saw Tavares with a nice entry and pass to Marner. You saw Matthews at the net as well, too. So, again, if I'm Craig Berube, I'm like, you know what? It's not our best. We're up. It's tied 0-0, but we just need a little bit better effort come the last half of the game here.
My favorite line would have been Tavares, Marner, and McMahon. How about you?
I like Domi. And Matthews. Yeah. They did a good job sort of stretching out the neutral zone. They were getting on the forecheck. They had some cycles. They were going east-west there as well, too. But, again, I think both those lines were pretty solid through one. Lorenz was getting in on the forecheck. You saw Nick Robertson just miss that top shelf, where that's sort of his bread and butter right from that area of the zone as well, too. So, the chances were there, but I think on the defensive side of the puck, what you don't want to do now is have Stolarz have to, face 30-plus shots. You want to insulate him, protect him a little bit, and, let him do what he does best, and that's stop the puck. Let him see it a little bit more if I'm the Maple Leafs.
Could I go as far as that was what Ottawa wanted to do, but the Leafs didn't do what they wanted to do?
100%. Ottawa, again, that was a playoff-style game. They were chipping pucks in below the dots. They were getting it on the forecheck. They were controlling the puck. They were getting pucks off their points and hitting the net, retrieving pucks as well. So I think for Toronto, just the neutral zone, that's sort of been their Achilles heel, I think, in the last couple of weeks here, just managing the puck in the neutral zone. Riley, I think, had 3 of those 7 giveaways. So I think just managing the puck a little bit. But again, it's a home crowd. You want to put on a bit of a show, so I can understand them taking a little bit of a risk. But if there's a bit of a weakness to Ottawa, I think it could be on that back end, so I think you can exploit them a little bit more, and it starts with just advancing the puck below the dots and getting to work.
Actually, that's why I like that Tavares line, because late in the period there were 2 times where they stripped it on the same shift, but unfortunately did not get a shot on goal either time, but there was good down-low pressure.
Yeah, great job by, even McMahon getting in on the forecheck. They're doing a great job stick checking and lifting the sticks and turning the pucks over, but it's going to be tough to do that in the playoffs. I think you have to use your body. You got to get in there and just have that physical element and wear down. I think there was times last year where they did that. They had that grounded pound mentality where they're just going to let the glass rattle. I think Nyes had a hit or 2. Domi got in on there as well. Yankroak maybe as well. So I think for them, it's just adopting that mentality. But again, it's easier said than done. But they just have to have a better response this second period.
And so you think that the line shuffling works, or is that something they might look at?
Are you alluding to they're going back to what they've been doing for the last?
The line shuffling is, to me, it's got a short shelf life. It either works or it doesn't.
If you're going to do it, you can't do it after. You got to give it 50. You got to give it 10 periods. You can't just do it after a couple periods. You can't just say, hey, this doesn't work. I think you need a couple games and practices to get the chemistry as well. But it's not due to a lack of trying. All 4 lines, I think, had maybe a scoring chance or a shot on net.
Yeah.
So you want that balance, especially on the offensive zone of the puck, offensive end of the puck, and they've gotten that. So D zone, I think some guys lost their coverage. I think I saw Laughton caught in the left wing as a centerman a couple times. Maybe a couple guys, the changes weren't there. But I'm thinking as the game goes along and the flow of the game, the ebbs and flows, I think they can get involved a little bit better on both ends.
Okay, ad-lib trivia question here. The Leafs had 5 shots on goal, only 1 by a forward. Name the forward.
Ooh. Was it William Nylander?
No guy.
Steve Lorenz?
No guy. Not even close guy.
Right, no, I'm kidding.
It was Mitch Marner.
Mitch Marner, okay, yeah. yes, Mitch Marner, yeah.
Wow, so McCabe had 1. Who had 2? Was it... OEL had 1 and Riley had 2.
Okay. We need more from the offense. But,
they had pressure down there.
They had the pressure down there. They had a couple of the turnovers. You saw Robertson coming down real estate there, just missing, by probably about probably a half an inch there too. So, again, I out of those 5 shots, I think they probably had 2 or 3 scoring chances that they just missed the net. So that's a skill. Hitting the net is hitting the skill. Hitting the net is a skill. So, again, those point shots, what I want to see, Tats, is the traffic, the layers, second and third opportunities, those rebounds, those puck retrievals, and it's a lot of one and done through 20. But, again, the positive is there's still 40 minutes. Let's maybe draw a penalty here. Let's draw a penalty, get off to the power play, see what that can do as well. But it was a picture perfect perfect period for this Ottawa Senators group.
I mean, the event summary is pretty sparse for the Leafs. The one number that jumps off the page is the 4 hits from Bobby McMahon.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's how you break the slump, right? It's not going to be a beautiful end-to-end goal. You got to go in on the forecheck, create some space, create some separation, and get to the net. That's what I want to see him. Get to the net and score those Matthew Nyes type goals. You go to the net, you get it in tight, and then you roof it. So it starts with just getting in and getting involved, a few bumps, and he's done that through the first 20.
So what do you need to see from the Leafs for the first 5 minutes of period number 2?
Manage the puck. Don't turn it over. Stop with the east-west. Get across the red. Chip. Have numbers. Have layers. Get in front of the Ottawa Senators goaltender and try to draw a power play. It's not a special recipe with all these ingredients. It's got to be simple there.
Keep the spices out.
Yes. No spice. No spice.
Gluten-free, spice-free.
Gluten-free, yeah. Make sure it's not an air burger.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Stu. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
At Honda, we take pride in building the CR-V Sport here in Alliston, Ontario. And with all-wheel drive, plus a suite of Honda sensing technologies, we made sure it can handle Ontario winters. But you're probably wondering, what's with the one-touch power moonroof? Well, Ontario, we hold on to the hope that one day winter will be over. Get ready for spring and adventure with the Honda CR-V Sport. Lease with rates from 1.99% for 36 months, plus get a $1,500 Honda bonus. OAC conditions apply. Made with domestic and imported parts. See HondaOntario.com.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
I don't want to say I'm a big deal, but I am a superhero. I love helping people consolidate their debts, and that's what I did for the Smiths. I took their bills and zoom, wha-bam, zap, turn them into one low monthly payment. No, the sound's not necessary, but it's part of the fun.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
Your sneakers are staring directly at you. You try to look away, but you can't. You're laced to face. They're saying, Rome wasn't built in a day, and your six-pack won't be either. But you've got to start somewhere. Stop staring. Put us on. Take that first step, or lunge, or squat. Start small. Start somewhere. Join for $7.99 every 2 weeks at fitforless.ca and experience fitness simplified. Some conditions apply. Fit for Less. Everybody happy.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.ca/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed where work is performed. See website for details.
Deep breath, piano pickup, hockey drop-off. Oh, did you remember the Farm Boy cupcakes for afterwards? And dinner.
We got this. Voila delivered our groceries this morning. Cupcakes are in the back seat.
Got 'em.
And I got some ready-made pulled pork and Longo's fresh buns for dinner.
Ooh.
Plus, some compliments hot chocolate. A little reward for surviving tonight.
You're on a roll, honey.
Voila delivers fresh groceries from Sobeys, Farm Boy, and Longo's at the same prices in-store with no hidden fees. Voila, your groceries delivered just like that.
The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by Maple Toyota. You don't have to go out of town for a great new Tundra RAV4 gas or hybrid. Maple Toyota has them in stock and ready to deliver. Visit mapletoyota.com. Rangers 1-0 over the Jackets in the second period. Into the first, Canes 2-0 over the Flyers. Into the first, Lightning and Bruins tied at 1. After 20 minutes of play, Canadiens 2-0 over the visiting Florida Panthers. Final in a shootout earlier today. Sabres 4-3 over the Golden Knights. Penguins got by the Devils 7-3. Capitals 5-1 over the Sharks. And later tonight, getting set to start in mere seconds, Blues in Minnesota against the Wild, Predators in LA against the Kings, and at 10 o'clock, Chicago in Vancouver against the Canucks. In our game, scoreless, Ottawa and Toronto after 20 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
NFL free agency is here.
Your team could be getting a player that changes your fortunes next year.
And SiriusXM NFL Radio has you covered with the latest news and transactions from around the league.
Sam Darnold is going to be a Seattle Seahawk.
That's a good situation for Sam Darnold. No way around that.
The most pivotal signings and the teams that are hunting for that missing piece.
But what are they doing at quarterback? They got to sign a veteran. They got to win.
Follow it all on NFL Radio Channel 88 and on the SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
Defending Stanley Cup champion, General Manager Bill Zito. You have to be cognizant of the chemistry when you go out and make a potential trade, don't you?
We enjoy a little bit of a benefit now where the room is so strong that they can absorb a lot. We just want seamless guys who come in. Your leaders are Reinhart, Kachuk, Barkov, Bobrovsky. That part, it takes care of itself.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
General Manager of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff. What would finishing first overall mean to the organization, Kevin?
Well, I think anytime that, you can finish in an area where you're getting recognized, it's special. But again, the important thing for us is process. Is when we buy into playing the way we need to play, then, we feel comfortable that we'll win more games than not. And then you let the chips fall where they may.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the SiriusXM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable. Keeps this title charge on track, surely.
To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app. Just search for your favorite club.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Leafs nothing and the Ottawa Senators nothing. And the second period is brought to you by Molson. Whether it's Canadian Ultra, Export, or XL, there is a Molson with your name on it. Lots of people drinking green beer this weekend. I don't know why you would have it go bad and then drink it after it went green, but never really understood that. I, of course, am an Irish whiskey drinker. And none of that ever goes green. I have.
Yes. And you got the green shirt on.
Well, but this is tonight is amateur hour.
Right.
The professionals come out on Monday, on the 17th, when it's actually St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, we've been now. What's the best place we've been on the road for St. Patrick's Day?
Well,
I don't remember
Nashville.
We were in Detroit once. Were we in Nashville first?
We went out to that Irish pub that Pete Weber took us out to.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, and it was.
That's right.
It was a long night, and we were in Ottawa on the Saturday night. St. Patrick's Day was on Sunday. We flew in, and mercifully, didn't have to do a game till Tuesday. Monday was a day of rest. A day of rest.
I do believe every time we were in Nashville, it felt like St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, well, we just celebrated everybody else's holidays, right? Played down into the Toronto zone off the face-off. It goes around back of the net. The Leafs to the left and the Sens to the right as it comes back to the point, but it escapes the zone. And Clevin sends it back in. It's a delayed offside. And Benoit will get it. And Laughton gets it off of Yarncrook down into the offensive end. Laughton with a good hit on the boards as the puck comes to the line and out at center. Calle Yarncrook's stealing it back. And Tanev shoots it right back in again. Leafs get a change of players going. Nylander blocks an attempted pass back of the goal. That's drawing a crowd. Matthews out of the corner with it. Back to the point in the shot. That was one time wide of the net. Domi to the blue line to Tanev. He can't keep it in. And it comes to center ice, and the Leafs will shoot it back in. And tagging up and getting into the offense again is Matthews. Tyler Clevin back of the goal. Sends it high and out and down the ice. Tipped by Stützle to deny icing. Leafs will get to it, and it'll be pushed out at center ice by Brandon Carlo. But Ottawa have it back under control in their own zone. Zub into center. Off a skate, it comes into neutral ice. And turning back with it is Nyes. Got it to Riley. Got it ahead. Pass across the line for Matthews. He's going to the bench, so he shoots it in. Down the boards is Nyes to get it in a little deeper. Sens trying to work their way out. A giveaway stolen by Robertson or by Marner. Pass in front of the net. Oh, Tavares snapped it over top and off the crossbar and up into the screen. What a chance the Leafs have here.
Well, it was a great pickoff right at the Ottawa blue line by Mitch Marner. He spins, fires it towards Matthew Nyes in the left wing circle, and he quickly relays it over to John Tavares in the right wing circle, who's got a wide open net. Linus Ullmark, he made a diving stop similar to this a couple of games ago. I don't think he gets a piece of this.
No, I don't either, Jim.
I think it's right off the crossbar.
A shot deflects in front of the net. Shabbat taking it to safety and back of the goal for Travis Hamonic. The veteran gets it down to the Toronto blue line. Riley, a bank pass ahead is deflected down into Ottawa territory. Ullmark out of the cage to play it around. Tavares couldn't trap it. David Perron gets it out at center and to the Leaf line. Down the boards, Batherson taken out of the corner. Around back of the net now, Oliver Ekman-Larsson punches it up on the boards, but it doesn't reach Marner. Puck around to the near corner this time. Backhanded from whence it came. Marner trying to get there, but won't. Hamonic pinching to keep it in. Now Tavares on the near boards. Got the puck free. It comes in front of the net, and a shot went wide of the goal. Laid out at center finally by the Leafs, who will get one exchange done anyway. Tavares likely will head to the bench when he gets an opportunity and does likewise. And now some of the defensemen getting exchanged as well. Brought by Ottawa and flipped into the zone. Jake McCabe tried to chip it along, but it comes back to the point. Trapped there, and a long shot went high and wide. Off the stick of Matipalo. It comes back in along the near side. Robertson got it ahead, and out at center comes Pontus Holmberg. To the left wing side for Jake McCabe. McCabe swings it around the boards, and Lorenz got it back in the net. Centered in front! Great chance for Pontus Holmberg, and an excellent save made by Ullmark. Sens bring it back. The Leafs with two great scoring chances in the first 3 minutes of the second period. Oliver Ekman-Larsson has to go back in his own zone. Gets it to his defense partner, Morgan Riley, who returns the favor. Oliver Ekman-Larsson to center. Chopped in over the line by Calle Yarncrook. In over the line. It goes to the far corner. Off a skate, but the Sens have it, and almost stolen then by Nylander, coming out from behind the net. Leafs keep it in. Yarncrook nowhere to go with it and try and get it into the corner, and has. Scotty Laughton taken into the corner, but Yarncrook comes out of the scrum. Looks to get it back in along the boards. Couldn't get it far enough to find Laughton. And now here are the Sens trying to send a long lead pass, and they do to Ridley Gregg. Gregg can't penetrate. And with open space, a lead pass ahead for Laughton. In on goal! Rolling it to the net, and they all crash into the goaltender. They're unpiling as we talk, but out come the Sens to center ice. And on the right side, Laughton got hauled down after the fact right in front of the official. Centering pass goes off a leg. Near side for Hamonic. Hamonic around the boards, and it's going to come to the line, but not out. Kept in by Highmore, and around into the far corner it goes. Leafs will come up with it with time and space to get it up on the wing for Domi. Domi mishandles the puck, but goaltender is out to get it to Tanev. Tanev into the corner. McCabe banks it out into neutral ice. That was wild, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think you're fine if that's not going to be a penalty, but don't call the cheap one in 4 or 5 minutes from now.
Matthews pass off a stick. Controlled now by Ottawa. Karam's off the skate of Pinto. And now is shot down the ice, and icing is going to be called against Ottawa. And we talked about the Battle of Ontario. What better day to celebrate a guy's birthday today than Darcy Tuck?
Yeah.
Travis Green, who's behind the bench, had as big a part of that incident as any. When Darcy decided, fight me, I'm going to fight your whole gang.
Yeah, I think what Leaf fans want, Travis Hamonic really horse collars Scott Laughton when he gets off the goaltender. The referee's right there, but we said, no call, fine. Don't call it cheap hook or a hold at the other end of the ice.
Played in over the line, out of the reach of Marner. Marner unable to trap it in neutral ice. It's played to an open wing, but the Sens will get there, and Zub gets across the line, pulls back to his defensive position, let a long shot go that was blocked away by the Maple Leafs' Stolarz. Round back of the net now for Morgan Riley. Riley steps out smartly with a lead pass. He had Marner breaking, but it was blocked. Laid off a skate down into Toronto territory. Stolarz holding, just giving it off on the wing, and it's backhanded to center ice by Toronto. Lorenz can't get free, and it's back into the Toronto end, and Stolarz will get it off to OEL. A lead pass deflected off Lorenz into the zone. Goaltender Ullmark playing it around the boards. There is no score here in period number 2. Good hit by Lorenz, takes down his man. Puck at center ice, and then another hit there by Pottis. Holmberg took his man down, and a lead pass, springing it ahead. Robertson in! Oh, and a good save made by Ullmark. Nicky Robertson breaking in with a great chance. Back at the net is Nylander. Nylander curls to the near corner, stops it up, still has it. Nylander working down the right wing boards to the top of the circle. Now driving to the net, he's in a goal! Scores! Holy Mackinac! What a great individual effort! William Nylander makes it 1-2-0.
What helps make this play, Joe, is Scott Laughton goes to the front of the net, takes a man, and the Ottawa defenseman follows him away to the net for the far post, and that opened up the seam for Willie Nylander to take it right to the top of the crease and a little forehand, backhand tuck around the right pad of Linus Ullmark. I thought for a moment Scott Laughton had put it in, but it was Laughton who moved away to the far post, and the defenseman went with him. And that gave Nylander the room to tuck it home and give the Leafs a 1-0 lead.
Here are the Sens getting it down into the Toronto zone. A wraparound stop by Stolarz. And the puck comes free, and the Leafs will get it out into neutral ice. Chipped ahead by Bobby McMahon. It was so long ago that anybody else had the puck. I don't know who got the assist. Down into the Toronto zone it goes. Benoit up on the wing, backhanded out and down the ice. Icing call against Toronto. 37th of the year for Nylander on a wonderful individual effort to open the scoring here in the second period. And the Leafs score on their 7th shot on goal.
The Leafs have been much more dangerous here in the second than they were in all of the first period. Now, they've only got them credited with 2 shots.
Crossbar.
But you had the Holmberg shot in close in the slot. You had Nick Robertson coming off the wing, and now the Nylander goal.
There you go. Here you go again. You're getting on the off-ice officials again, aren't you?
No, you're upset because I'm using math.
No, I'm upset that you're right.
Well, there we go. 8 shots.
You know what? Someone's got a transistor radio down. Transistor radio. They don't make them anymore. Long shot. Blocked away. There's a rebound in front of the Leaf goal. Shot taken by Tkachuk. Went high over top of the net. Ottawa pressing here. Stützle works the far half boards. Centers on the left wing side. Sanderson, a shot. Scores! Jake Sanderson got a pass from the far wing and ties this game at 1 very quickly after the Leafs open the scoring.
Everybody footed to the far side, to the left of Anthony Stolarz, and Jeff Sanderson simply sneaks down the top of the left wing circle, and they find him with a cross-ice pass. If you overload one side of the ice, it means one thing: you got to win
the battle.
Those battles. You see, the Leafs had all 5 players on that side of the ice, and Sanderson wide open, top of the left wing circle. And this isn't to be critical of the goaltending, but we've seen them a lot more goals against like this, right? It's just 1-on-1 with the shooter. And early on in the season, Those were always going to the Leafs in those one-on-one showdowns.
Domi trying to free the puck up and does for a pass in front of the net. Backhand, a weak one by Nyes was stopped. Oh, and a good hit there. Coming down was Brandon Carlo, and he caught one of the Senators trying to come out. Now Nyes, a pass hits a skate, brought in over the line offside as Ridley Gregg was trapped inside the Toronto zone. So Sanderson's 7th of the season. The Nylander goal, it is Robertson and Brandon Carlo getting an assist. And the Maple Leafs open the scoring, but very quickly the Sens have tied it up. 1-1. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Jan owns a home and a restaurant fusing French and Mexican cuisine. But she is fusing no more because her ovens have gone kaput. She called Alpine Credits, who sent their speedy superhero. With her business loan approved, her ovens were quickly fixed. The hero even had some of her poutine nachos. Yum! Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
Saturdays, it's hockey like you've never seen before. Welcome to the NHL Hockeyverse. It's the place where real data of NHL action is transformed, literally, into animations. Combining NHL Edge puck and player tracking data with animations to show hockey like never before.
Let's go inside the helmet.
That's right. This is no video game. The NHL Hockeyverse matchup of the week. Oilers vs. Capitals. Watch now on Sportsnet Plus.
1-1 tie. Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators. And Sanderson from Stützle and Brady Tkachuk is the scoring play that comes a minute 10 after the Leafs had taken the lead.
That's how you get on a roll to get into the playoffs, right? Play a nice tight checking game. As soon as you're down one, you go and dominate the next two shifts before tying it up.
Played along the boards down in the Toronto zone. Domi unable to move it up the boards. They'll try the other side to Riley. He banks it out past off a player, so there's no icing. Oh, wow! Almost losing it. And now they do it. They score! Oh, my! Linus Ullmark comes out and misplays the puck. Domi missed him and slid into the net, and he almost took it right off the noodle when Matthews snaps it into the goal. I think I described that.
People still don't get it. If you've ever seen your kids play at the age of 5, you probably saw this. Icing's waved off, so Ullmark comes out between the hash marks to play it. But it's as if he looks up as the puck's coming towards him, and he puts out a bigger rebound. Thomas Chabot sort of drifted away from him, thinking he was going to get the puck. Now it's in the middle of nowhere. Max Domi slid towards Ullmark to try to get the puck, missed it, goes into the net when the Leafs follow up and get a gift to regain the lead.
Does Max get an assist? Does he touch it?
He gets an assist because he didn't. Can you imagine if it hit him and stayed out?
Well, it almost went off his melon. I know that. Now, for the naysayers, does that count Matthews scoring against a goaltender? Because he's been criticized that he hasn't scored with a goaltender in the net much lately. Here's Tanev across the line for Yarncrook. A shot went off the back skate of Tanev. And the Senators have it again. So after a scoreless first, the first half of this second have seen 3 goals, and the Leafs lead it 2-1. Lorenz, back of the net. Pass by Oliver Ekman-Larsson was intercepted. Trying to come out in front of the net was Gaudette. It comes back to the point and a long shot blocked. cleared to the line and out. And Clevin will go back to recover. Played to the Leaf blue line. OEL drops it off to Tanev on the right side. Long left wing feed. Tavares in with a long shot. And in the crease this time is Ullmark, and he'll catch that one and hang on.
I mean, he made the right play. It's just when the puck came to him, I think he was just trying to redirect it to Chabot, who had peeled off, and all of a sudden...
Now, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Well, what I do now is turn the puck over, and Austin Matthews makes it 2-1. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
With an extreme wind event for the Ohio Valley, plus a possible tornado outbreak across the Gulf and Southeast, stay tuned to alerts from the Weather Channel.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Jim Cantori. When severe weather is impacting any part of the country, a live simulcast of the Weather Channel for the latest information to keep you safe and informed.
Listen for coverage now.
Whenever active weather is breaking, alerts from the Weather Channel on the SiriusXM app. Just search weather.
The Point with Boomer Gordon.
For months, I've been listening to hockey people warn the Sabres, don't move on from Dylan Cousins. This is the one you'll regret. The fact that you're trading in division is amazing to me. This guy can come back and haunt you like every Sabre does. But if I'm an Ottawa Senators fan, Jake, I'm over the moon on this trade.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. Nothing puts you closer to the action than SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
Dallas already was the highest scoring team in the league since January 1st. They're so deep. They made a trade, like Michael Granlund there. Tyler Seguin may come back. Rantanen will fit in there beautifully. And another sort of guy drawn to the southern United States, no state tax team, good organization, and wanting to kind of set up shop long term there. So obviously it makes sense.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Face-off coming in the circle to the right of Linus Ullmark, who's got to have that good short memory after that mishap.
I mean, he's been outstanding, obviously, for the Senators, and he gives Steve Staios a lot of credit. That was one of the concerns that the Ottawa Senators have had over the last few years, and he's really solidified the position for them. He's 5-0-1 in his last 6 coming in.
Senators with the puck, get it to the line and out at center, brought on by Ridley Gregg in on the right side. Trying to get a centering pass. It went off a skate and just went wide of the Leaf goal. Kept alive by Ottawa. Back of the net and into the near corner it comes. Centering pass broken up and grabbed again. And a centering pass this time from Mario goes to the right wing boards. Sens trying to keep it in along the wall with Artem Zub. Leafs don't get it out. Zub is able to keep it in, but a bad pass is going to come to center ice before it is shot right back down into the Toronto zone. Leafs come away with the loose puck. Marner's around back of his goal. Giving it off to a defenseman. Back to Marner. Marner up on the right side for Brandon Carlo. Carlo will play it to the line, but not in. Matthews couldn't get in over the line. Now it's grabbed by Nyes, who's out. Now they've got Marner out with Nyes and Matthews, but Nyes, or at least I'll get it. Marner to the bench.
Over there.
But if you look over here, it's over there again. Back down into the Leaf end. No icing, though. Puck taken to the boards by McCabe. Tanev trying to help out. Matthews pries it free, and he gets it to Matthew Nyes. Nyes taking the puck wide. He'll backhand down into the zone. Domi hunting down his man, but couldn't get a hit in. And now the Senators will push it ahead, and Brady Tkachuk comes to center. Tkachuk in over the line to the left wing side. A wrist shot by Stützle goes off a skate. Batherson with it. Batherson back towards the blue line, dropping it off. Clevin works into the slot, a shot, and he sent it high and wide. The rebound explodes back to the blue line, but not out. Kept in by Toronto, or by Ottawa. To the far corner of the Leafs end, comes into the slot, tip free. Nyes couldn't get it free, and the shot scores! David Perron. 2-2.
Almost the exact same spot that Sanderson had tied it at 1. As the Leafs, all kinds of problems in their own end, and they're basically just chopping at it. And the Senators win the battles once more, and David Perron, a broken play as it gets pushed to the left wing side, but Morgan Rielly tried to force it up the left wing boards to Max Domi. It got picked off. And then the Leafs were in full scramble mode, couldn't get back into position. And I think Batherson's going to get the assist. This one beats Stolarz' glove side, but almost the same spot, right? Left wing face-off dot.
Laid down into the Toronto zone. Stolarz gets it into the corner. Fed up on the wing, but cut off by the Sens. Stolen by Nylander. Nylander's backhand pass for Yarncrook was intercepted and shot back into the Toronto end. 7:24 to go in the second period. And all of the scoring here in the middle stanza, and it's 2-2. Laughton couldn't get it into the zone. Forced back into his own zone now is OEL.
They're going to call him interference on the reverse hit.
Wow.
I mean, I know they will say that if it's in the rules that if you don't have the puck yet, and I don't believe Ekman Larsson had touched the puck, and he propels himself backward, but I think that's also when we saw Scott Laughton went at the other end that got let go. And the Senators will go to the first power play of the night for either team. How about this for being clear? This will be the 215th power play for the Senators. The Leafs have had 182 power plays on the year.
Penalty kill brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks.
Isn't that amazing, the difference, though?
Yep.
Power plays. Ottawa power play is 13th overall in the National Hockey League.
Perron with his 5th goal of the season. Batherson gets the lone assist. The Matthews goal is unassisted.
Perron now has 5 goals in his last 6 games.
Face off in the Leaf zone to the right. And Brady Tkachuk. Somebody moved early and Tkachuk's being waved out. So Stutzlo will take the face off against Matthews, who wins the draw. Leafs. McCabe gets around back of the goal, then steps out at center and sends it down into the Ottawa end. It's going to come around. Marner played it back into the center ice area. Tkachuk couldn't get it in over the line cleanly. Leafs have it D to D, almost broken up, but now McCabe gets another opportunity to get it ahead. Marner's across the line with Laughton. Marner decides to hold, gets it into the corner to Scotty Laughton. He'll just play it around back of the net. The Oakville native taking a bit of a cheap shot there, heads to the bench. Brought out at center ice by Sanderson. To the line, and clogs down, but the Sens get it in over the line. Banked off the boards, backhanded down the ice. The Ottawa player loses his glove. Sanderson trying to catch it. He's out there without a glove on his left hand. Now he's going to the bench. Brought by Giroux. In on the left wing. Down into the corner goes David Perron. Back to the point. It comes over on the right wing side. Giroux with it again. Into the slot. A shot. And down to cover up on that is Stolarz.
Not to be critical after a stop, Joe, but Anthony Stolarz right on the goal line when he stops this. Remember, one of the things we were so impressed with early in the year with him is how everything he was out at the top of the crease, set and square. And on this one, I mean, makes the save.
But he was
deep. His heels are right on the goal line.
Face off to his left. Draw one by Toronto. Chip to the line. Matthews couldn't get it out. Neither could McCabe. Centering pass. Scores! Ridley Gregg was right on the doorstep. I'm not sure whether he tipped it or not.
Yeah, I think he gets this. But again, the Leafs lose a battle. 2 players, both forwards on the left wing boards. Can't get it out, and that leaves an odd man advantage down below. And Ridley Gregg just backed into the top of the circle. Well, no, now looking at it, maybe to go off Tanev.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought too. And it may be Giroux who will get credit for the goal. So the Senators have taken their first lead of the game.
And we got a low. Yeah, this is rough, Chris Tanev. Although, if it doesn't hit Tanev, it's Ridley Gregg's goal.
Yep.
All right,
so wild second period, and it's 3-2 Ottawa.
You get such a gift on that second goal to take the lead, and you can't take advantage of it.
Played back down into the Toronto zone, around on the boards for Robertson. He doesn't get it out. Oliver Ekman-Larsson tries the other side. That is blocked, but played ahead, and Steven Lorenz got it out. Long shooting goes on goal, and so it'll be delayed offside, whistle down by the linesmen, who are Andrew Smith and Dan Kelly tonight. Kyle Raymond and Frederic Lacuere are the referees. Giroux on the power play, and the Maple Leafs trail 3-2. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Ah, at last, the Subaru winter is here. It's the perfect weather for the beach. Feel the sun's rays on the small amount of skin peeking out of your ski mask. Put on your beach puffer and hear the sound of the waves crashing over the chatter of your teeth. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
Lately, times have been challenging, with many people facing increased interest rates, inflation, and rising credit card debt. Everyone needs a little help from time to time, but it can be hard to ask for help when it comes to your personal finances. But you're not alone. Millions of Canadians share that feeling with you. 500,000 Canadians have found help with their debt, and so can you, with Consolidated Credit Counseling Services of Canada. They are one of the largest non-profit credit counseling organizations in the country, with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. They can help you consolidate your bills into one affordable payment, minimize your interest rates, and get you out of debt fast. No matter how much you owe, you don't need to do this alone. To get help, call 1-800-288-4991. That's 1-800-288-4991. Let Consolidated Credit get you back to a debt-free life. Call 1-800-288-4991. Call toll-free today for a free consultation. 1-800-288-4991. Ontario license number 4705786.
5.5 minutes to go here in period number 2. Giroux from Shabbat is the power play goal that elevates Ottawa into the lead.
And another multi-goal period against. Isn't that amazing? How many the Leafs have given up? I think all but 2 games since the Four Nations tournament. And actually now this makes it 7 straight where they've given up at least 3.
Now a fight has started. Ridley Gregg and Scotty Laughton, and Laughton trying to throw a right hand. They're grappling in the center ice zone. Laughton gets a right arm free. Can he deliver a punch here though? Trying to throw it. Now he doesn't. It glances over the head of Gregg. Uppercut by Laughton. Another grab as they take him to the boards. Laughton trying to get another arm free. There are 2 big guys throwing him here. A punch there by Gregg lands. Now the linesmen trying to break it up are pushed to the penalty box door. Laughton took exception to a hit last shift that he was on when he was killing the penalty. And it must have been Gregg that provided it. But anyway, so not on the score sheet as yet, but Scotty Laughton stands in here against Ridley Gregg.
A lot of jersey tugging in this fight, but they both are able to land a couple of shots. Maybe Scotty Laughton, the other side of it, Joe has tried to turn the tide. A lot was made of the fight. It was a Kesselring in Utah against Simon Benoit. And that came right after the Leafs had taken a 3-0 lead, and right away Utah came back with 3 straight goals. That was another 3-goal period.
Face off outside the Toronto blue line. 5:29 to go in the second. And the Senators win the face off. Montepallo sends it in and then goes to the bench. The puck comes to the point. Long shot went wide of the net from Clevin. Now against the boards. Pontus Holmberg gets it up on the wing, and Morgan Riley circles back into his own zone to try and gain some room. Got it ahead and now brought on by Nylander. Nylander in across the line. Tried to turn back but ran into traffic. Puck comes free as it comes to the blue line. D-to-D pass. Riley with a shot, and it went off his stick and goes up into the screen. Out of play. I think that was a pass looking for Yarncrook coming down the right side, but Sens got a stick in the way. Face-off coming in Ottawa territory.
Well, thank God for the fluke goal now by Matthews, right? Leafs would be in big trouble without that. Twice they've led here in this game, twice in this period, and both times very quickly. Ottawa comes back, and now they're 1-for-1 on the power play to take a 3-2 lead.
Face off to the right, draw one by the Leafs. It comes back to the point. Over on the near side, and it'll carry him out at center as Benoit couldn't get there in time. Benoit with it back in the Toronto zone. Looks up ice to find Domi, who drops it for his defense, but a pass from Matthews was way out of his reach, but Matthews trying to get after it, goes down into the corner after the puck. Comes away with it to Domi. Domi banks it back to the blue line. OEL with a pass that goes wide of the goal. Round back of the net. Nyes trying to steal it away from Artem Zub. OEL steps into his man, and the Sens get it to center and just play it down into the Leaf end. Benoit around back of the net. A pass for Domi that he mishandles, but gets it back to the defense. They'll go D-to-D. OEL starts out with a drop pass for Benoit. Benoit getting it to the line, but doesn't get it into the zone. Leafs are trying to change. Batherson and Stutzla send it down into the Toronto end. Played up on the wing, and it's broken up, and now here's McCabe. Getting it up on the right side for Marner. Marner trying to chip it in along the boards, but it's cleared back out at center. Here's Stutzla with it now in across the Toronto line. He's taken to the boards, and the puck goes free to Marner. He gives the puck away. Here's Stutzla now down to the left wing half boards. He'll curl back towards the point. Goes D-to-D on the far side. Shot coming, and it's well wide of the net. It caromed out in front. The Leafs are there to play it off the boards and just get it out at center. Bobby McMahon couldn't get anywhere. That's a delayed offside. And it's whistled down by the linesman.
We can talk about the balanced scoring, the Stars not scoring, everything else offensively that has hurt the Leafs. But boy, their defensive play. Marner with a giveaway here. Giveaway at the Ottawa blue line that led to a rush back the other way.
You just can't give offensive teams that have the kind of spark that, well, anybody in this league, really. Never mind where you are in the standings. 3:28 to go here in the second period. Ottawa with a 3-2 lead. Draw scrummed, but the Sens will play it in deep. Hustling back of the goal with it to play it up on the wing. Robertson tipping it to the line, but doesn't get it out. He gets a second opportunity, and the puck goes to the left wing side, and Steven Lorenz circles back in his own zone. To Brandon Carlo, up ahead. A pass quickly to Lorenz on the left wing, who drops the puck back. Weak shot deflects wide of the goal. Lorenz couldn't get it in front, and it's going to come all the way out and down into the Toronto zone as the defense had kind of evacuated that spot, and so Robertson is back after it. Morgan Riley for Brandon Carlo up ahead for Nylander. He circles back, being forced as he tried to make a backhand pass to center that Matthews couldn't reach. Cleared right back in again, and Jake McCabe will swing it around the boards. It'll find Calle Yarncrook on the near wing. Yarncrook got it ahead for Matthews. Long pass to the far side. Nylander in on the wing, and a shot from a sharp angle goes off the shoulder of Ullmark and up into the screen and out of play.
Well, it was Jake McCabe decided to get it to the net. He had Calle Yarncrook wide open in front. Just feeling that the pass was going to be taken away as Thomas Chabot was the defenseman that went down to block it.
Hit Ullmark right in the mask and caromed up into the screen.
The Leafs just 5 shots in the first period, 6 so far here in the second with 2:28 to go.
Being outshot 17-11 by Ottawa. 3-2, the Senators with the lead. Artem Zub sends a pass high to center ice. Tanev back in his own zone, got it ahead. Yarncrook apparently didn't touch that, and icing is going to be called here against the Maple Leafs with 2:17 to play in the middle stanza. And Ottawa hanging on to a 3-2 lead.
And the power and the face-off dot now. The Leafs 1 point, once over 60% of the draws. That is now even at 50%.
Sens win it into the corner. Sanderson back to the blue line, kept in there by Highmore. Back in to the near corner, swept around the boards. It'll come back to Sanderson at the left point. He'll send it back from whence it came, out of the reach of McCabe. Zub is pinched to keep it in, round back of the net. Matthews trying to free it up as it's pushed to the near wing, and Sanderson is there again. Centered in front, it's pushed up on the wing, and Nylander just gets rid of it down into Ottawa territory to allow a change of players. Minute 43 to go in the second period. Leafs trail by a goal. Shabbat plays down into the Toronto end, left wing corner. Oliver Ekman-Larsson takes his man out. Leafs get it out at center ice to Marner. Marner gets it the rest of the way down into the Ottawa zone. Domi in pursuit, knocks his man down but can't come away with the loose puck. Now it's in the skates of the official and brought out on the near side. Marner with Domi and Tavares for the Maple Leafs. Pass, that went up and struck Brady Tkachuk right in the yap. Here's a pass on the left wing and a shot, and glove save made by Olmark.
And give Tkachuk credit. He took it right to the face, dropped the stick, and just casually skated over to the Ottawa bench and is now going to walk down to the dressing room.
Yeah, he's probably going to need a stitch or two, I would think.
Good news for the Senators. Lots of time to stitch him up if that's the case. 54 seconds to go here in the second period.
Did you ever have to be stitched up during a game?
No.
No, you wore a mask.
No, I did get about 800 stitches on my knee after a game once.
Yeah. No kidding. I was about to say that doesn't count, but I think it counted fairly dramatically. Carlo with a pass in for Matthews. Matthews unable to get to the loose puck. Played back on the near boards. Nylander unable to get to it. Sens will break it out into the neutral zone and get it down into the Leaf end. Played out at center ice off Nylander's skate. Sanderson regroups the puck. Senators shoot it back into the Toronto end. Down to the near corner for Brandon Carlo. He shields it away there from Shane Pinto. It'll go into the far corner. Matthews with 19 seconds left in the period. Getting it for Jake McCabe, who gets it ahead for Nylander. Nylander trying to come through neutral ice, makes a move. Gets in over the line. Pulls up on the near half boards. Played into the side of the net for Matthews. Can't get a shot. Now Matthews trying to center. And with 2 seconds left, it goes to the line. And there's the horn. So the Senators, after falling behind twice, scored 2 goals that have been unanswered and will take a 3-2 lead to the dressing room after 40 minutes of play.
Yeah. Give Ottawa credit on the forecheck, but the Leafs on 2 of the goals, Joe, if they've got the ability to get the puck out, it gets blocked. Everybody gets trapped on one side, and the Leafs pay for it. So you thought, boy, this has got to be the TSN turning point, right? The goal by Matthews, miscue by Linus Ullmark. The Leafs get a gift. Matthews with the unassisted goal, and no. It's Ottawa that comes back with 2 more to take the lead.
Shots are even at 7 apiece in the second period. The Leafs had a crossbar as well, but a 3-2 Ottawa lead on the board after 40 minutes of play. Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart coming your way. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
It comes around every year. People begin to scramble for information. It's a beast like no other. And VSiN is here to help you navigate the waters of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Sharp Week begins on Sunday, and our team of college hoops experts will guide you through your brackets. Want to know who the wagering sharps are picking? Tune into Sharp Week on VSiN, Sirius XM 158. you're going to need a bigger bet.
NHL Morning Skate.
Defending Stanley Cup champion, General Manager Bill Zito. You have to be cognizant of the chemistry when you go out and make a potential trade, don't you?
We enjoy a little bit of a benefit now where the room is so strong that they can absorb a lot. We just want seamless guys who come in. Their leaders are Reinhart, Kachuk, Barkov, Bobrovsky. That part, it takes care of itself.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
General manager of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff. What would finishing first overall mean to the organization, Kevin?
Well, I think anytime that, you can finish in an area where you're getting recognized, it's special. But again, the important thing for us is process. Is when we buy into playing the way we need to play, then, we feel comfortable that we'll win more games than not. And then you let the chips fall where they may.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
For months, I've been listening to hockey people warn the Sabres, don't move on from Dylan Cousins. This is the one you'll regret. The fact that you're trading in division is amazing to me. This guy can come back and haunt you like every Sabre does. But if I'm an Ottawa Senators fan, Jake, I'm over the moon on this trade.
Point with Boomer Gordon, 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
If you would have asked me, what's the one record that would never, ever, ever be broken? Was the 894 goals. Every single day he scores, that's sort of the lead story in the NHL. And yet here's Ovi about to do it, and he's going to push through 900 goals, and he could push to 1,000 if he wanted to. He played 3 more seasons.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hey, Jim Rome here. We have moved the program to a new channel this year. Now, you can find us every weekday afternoon live on Sirius 161, XM 206, 3 hours every afternoon, 3 to 6 p.m. Same program. My takes, some tremendous guests, and of course, your feedback. Have a take, don't suck, or you know you're going to get run. Content is still king, the jungle still rules, and it is great to be home. Put the channel on your preset, Sirius 161, XM 206.
It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the Sirius XM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable. Keeps this title charge on track, surely.
To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Just search for your favorite club.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
And trail 3-2 to Ottawa after 40 minutes of play. TSN After 40 brought to you by 241 Pizza. Give yourself a high five by any large traditional pizza. Get up to 3 medium, 1-topping pizzas for $5 each. 241pizza.com. Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart with you live from Scotiabank Arena. That was a high event period.
Yeah, it was high event, and again, it started off great with the Toronto Maple Leafs, with William Nylander scoring a beautiful goal, his 37th. Great patience, just sort of coming down, cutting across the crease, and roofing his 37th of the year. But just a counterpunch, less than a minute later, or just after a minute later, with Jake Sanderson getting left just right in front and roofing it for his 7th. So, again, it was an eventful period, but again, just goes back to the Toronto Maple Leafs just managing the puck, a couple turnovers here and there in the neutral zone. In the D zone, they just seem a little bit discombobulated, and ultimately what they're not getting is what they have at the beginning of the year in the first half of that season, was getting that save. And again, thanks to Jim Ralph and some of the stats here, they have let in 3 or more goals in 9 of the last 11 games. So, when you think that you have to score 4 or more every game to have a chance to win, it's very, very tough to win in today's National Hockey League. So not putting this on Stolarz. He had an amazing first period. I think he was overworked, but I think this is sort of now a symptom of that overworking, having to, be in and out of his crease, over and back, trying to make those big, big saves. I think he's tiring out, and that's why he's getting caught on some of these goals. But through 40, I didn't like 2 of those goals that period.
Well, I'm going to say that, without picking on him, all 3 goals are shots.
You know, they're not. They're not set up plays.
Not
they're
backdoor
shots.
tap-ins.
No.
And again, I don't think he really had a chance. Maybe on the Perron goal, as it was, he had to sort of come across the crease, and it was like a 1-2 pass. But that Claude Giroux goal on the power play, I thought maybe Ridley Gregg may have tapped it in, but no, Giroux just shot it on the ice and it just went right between the wickets. So I think for Stolarz, maybe he's overthinking the crease. Maybe he's thinking about the second or third rebound. But I think for him, what I'm noticing, Tats, most likely is he's looking smaller, right? Remember at the beginning of the season, pucks just seemed to hit him. He looked big, he looked huge, and now he just seems like he's shrinking and pucks are getting through him. So again, this is not on him. I think a lot of it has to do with the turnovers and the puck management. If I'm Craig Berube, I'm saying, guys, we have to manage the puck and momentum. Keep momentum. We saw Scotty Laughton try to get it back and getting the fight, but as soon as they let that goal in, and then a couple of minutes later, OEL taking that penalty, we knew that momentum swing was going to be a little bit lethal, and it is, as they're down 3-2 going into the final 20.
Well, just looking at the event summary, they're charged with 12 giveaways. Way too high.
Way too high, and a lot of it's been through the neutral zone. A lot of it has been on the defenseman, but I think for them it's a reluctance to go just north-south. They're trying to cut across the line, or they're trying to, make the stretch pass from the right to the left side against an Ottawa Senators team. They're a well-skating team. They're in lanes. They have sticks. They're taking away your time and space. You have to make quick plays, but most importantly, you have to advance the puck below the dots. It's tough. It's hard. It's a very, very tough time of year. I know it hurts. I'm getting hurt just thinking about and the pain of this point of the season. But we're talking about this group going multiple rounds in the Stanley Cup playoffs. You have to find a way to persevere, and we'll see how they respond in this third period.
So going back to what we said in the pregame show, we were looking for each line to sort of build off the other, and you pointed out correctly so that I think maybe in the first half of the period they were looking for what I call cheat plays to get in behind, like the stretch pass, but it's not that, we used to call it the boring defensive Leafs where they were, a 3-1 game, not much happened, but they won the game. But we're not even seeing that now, are we?
No, and they're doing those hope plays, right, where again they're coming around the net trying to maybe throw a hope pass to the middle, hopefully it hits somebody, or they're blowing the zone and they're trying to make a sauce pass through 3 sets of sticks. It's very, very tough, but Craig Berube's system is you have to wear down the opposition. But I'll tell you, they're looking like a tired group, right? Ever since they've come back from the road trip, 8 games in, I believe, 17 days. Are we in the American Hockey League here? We're riding buses here. What's next? But that's no excuse. We're paid very, very handsomely. They have to perform every single night, but they're just looking a little bit fatigued. And Ottawa looks refreshed. They look fast. They look quick. And I think that's the reason why Toronto's, their puck management is a little bit under par tonight.
So maybe they just need some time to sort this out.
Yeah, maybe 2 days off. Let's go. I'm going to call the PA here. We have mandatory 2 days off, but no one feels sorry for you, right? You see the Vancouver Canucks and their travel schedule, the Winnipeg Jets, the Dallas Stars. They're probably in the air right now as we talk about this, right? So no one feels sorry for you. You have to find a way to get through. But again, as we analyze it, they just looked a little bit tired, not just physically but mentally with some of those mistakes they're making through 40 minutes.
And to me, it actually has a last year look to it. Would you agree with that?
Last year, yeah, I guess.
Reluctantly.
But we discussed in the pregame show a lot of their warts and a lot of their mistakes were covered up by the great goaltending games, right? And if you go through it between Wall and Stolarz, between the two of them, they probably stole 5-6 each. So you do that, Matt. That's 10 wins. That's a lot. That's a lot, right? And I don't think it's maybe that much, but say it is 6 wins that they shouldn't have had. Where does that really put them in the standings? But the positive is they're down 1. We'll see how the fight sparked maybe potentially a comeback here. Austin Matthews scored his 23rd of the year. Nylander's clicking as well. You're seeing Domi with a hop and a step. So you're seeing some chemistry there. Let's see if the other lines can follow suit.
It's hard to believe that a team like this could only have 12 shots on goal after 40 minutes of play. But
is that a typo?
No, that's
no, but Ottawa, the Sens are doing a great job in really, really pacing them through the neutral zone. Good sticks, taking away their time and space. There's no room out there.
This is Leafs Game Night and Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
Joe and Lucy needed a new roof and reached out to Alpine Credits. I flew over to help them with a home renovation loan. I suggested they transform their house into a giant robot head, beams that shoot from the eyes. Pew, pew! Instead, they just went with shingles. But it's pretty glorious.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuss shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Groundworks comes in. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.ca/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed where work is performed. See website for details.
Dibs, one of the most powerful words in vacation planning. Next to Sunwing's save more, do more, that is. Why, you ask? Well, while you're asking, I'm booking. First dibs means I just snagged that suite so fancy it makes my Instagram filters feel unnecessary. And since I booked before March 30th, let's just say my savings account and vacation plans are equally gorgeous. That's the thing about First Dibs. Book before March 30th with your local travel advisor or at...
Red and white, it runs through the veins of everyone who calls our country home. It brings us closer together, no matter where we are. This spring, patients across Canada need you to give a little red and white. Canadian Blood Services needs 450 new blood and plasma donors every day to fuel Canada's lifeline. Let's get Canada's blood pumping. Book an appointment today at blood.ca/450.
Your sneakers are staring directly at you. You try to look away, but you can't. You're laced to face. They're saying, Rome wasn't built in a day, and your six-pack won't be either. But you've got to start somewhere. Stop staring, put us on, take that first step, or lunge, or squat. Start small, start somewhere. Join for $7.99 every 2 weeks at fitforless.ca and experience fitness simplified. Some conditions apply. Fit for Less. Everybody happy.
The Out of Town Scoreboard is brought to you by Maple Toyota. You don't have to go out of town for a great new Tundra RAV4 gas or hybrid. Maple Toyota has them in stock and ready to deliver. Visit mapletoyota.com. Here's what we have. Third period, Rangers 2-0 over the Jackets. In the third, Lightning, yikes, 4-1 over the Bruins. End of the second, Canes 4-0 over the Flyers. After 40 minutes of play, Canadiens 2-1 over the Panthers. End of the first, Blues 1-0 over the Wild. End of the first, Predators and Kings are scoreless. Earlier today, Sabres 4-3 in a shootout over Vegas. Penguins 7-3 over the Devils. Capitals 5-1 over the Sharks. And later tonight, Chicago and Vancouver against the Canucks. In our game, it's 3-2 for Ottawa over the Leafs after 40 minutes of play. Oh, yes, Guy, the third period is next. And Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network.
It's Lady Gaga.
Let the mayhem begin.
Welcome to Gaga Radio.
Explore themes of chaos and transformation.
I'm taking over exclusively on Sirius XM.
A channel featuring her personal picks.
To you, from me.
And exclusive stories from her new album, Mayhem. Gaga Radio. For a limited time. Now on Channel 15. Or at home on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
If you would have asked me, what's the one record that would never, ever, ever be broken? Was the 894 goals. Every single day he scores, that's sort of the lead story in the NHL. And yet here's Ovi about to do it, and he's going to push through 900 goals, and he could push to 1,000 if he wanted to. If he played 3 more seasons.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hey, Jim Rome here. We have moved the program to a new channel this year. Now, you can find us every weekday afternoon live on Sirius 161, XM 206, 3 hours every afternoon, 3 to 6 p.m. Same program, my takes, some tremendous guests, and of course, your feedback. Have a take, don't suck, or you know you're going to get run. Content is still king, the jungle still rules, and it is great to be home. Put the channel on your preset, Sirius 161, XM 206.
It's soccer's most thrilling league. League.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the SiriusXM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable. Keeps this title charge on track, surely.
To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app. Just search for your favorite club.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate. Weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
We are back, getting ready for the third period. And when trailing after a pair, the Maple Leafs are 7-18-1. The Ottawa Senators, when leading after two, 25-1-1. So pretty impressive stat for the Ottawa Senators. Now, having said that, in this league, it's amazing that teams don't rally in the third period as often as what you would think. Well, so when you think about even 7-18-1 is a pretty impressive stat when you compare other teams.
And I think the other side is too, Joe, how often a team might be up a goal or two, end up tied, and win it in overtime.
And then that stat still bears out.
Leafs have done that. You remember even the game against Pittsburgh.
Yep.
You know, they had a 5-4 lead into the third. Pittsburgh ties, at least won it in overtime. So you're able to say, oh, no, you have the perception that they've defended the lead through the entire period.
Successfully,
but
yes. And shouldn't that be?
It gets too wordy. I'm sure somebody's got that stat. It would take longer to read it than do it.
Worked on our broadcast on a regular basis, but we don't have that.
Well, we can tell you the Leafs blew 2 leads in the second period.
Yes, we can. So the Leafs will defend the goal to the right. Senators to the left. Sens have had the only power play, and that is the difference in the game. Giroux scoring the goal for Ottawa, his 14th of the season.
The Leafs gave up 2 power plays goals to the Florida Panthers a couple of nights ago, and that was a difference in a 3-2 loss.
Yeah, coming into this game, they had given up 5 in their last 16 times short over the last 5 games. So
how about this to start? Laughton with Nylander and Marner.
Remember all of the talk about the changes in the lines at the start of the game? Brandon Carlo is able to get it up on the wing, and Marner frees it up, and Scotty Laughton brings it to center and in over the line. Had his pocket picked from behind, but it goes down into the corner. He gets a pretty good hit in as Riley sends the shot to the net, hit the side of the goal. Back of the net, Nylander coming out in front, jamming away at it, and it's going to be covered up by Ullmark. Now Nylander getting into the middle of things here with Amadio. Something more developing.
I'm not sure we're going to get any penalties out of this. Only the one penalty of the game, and it cost the Leafs. It was on a reverse hit. Yeah, I mean, you could have called, maybe a little bit of roughing as Nylander got taken down from behind. Would have been a soft call. I think that was Tyler Clevin was the one that...
Well, the only power play of the game was a bit of a soft call, too, isn't it?
Yeah, reverse hit they'll sometimes call.
Anyway, face-off coming to the right of the Ottawa goalkeeper. Matthews, Nyes, and Domi. This line has stayed intact for most of the game. And the draw won by Ottawa, played to the line. Good hustle there by Jake McCabe to keep it in, but then it's pushed out at center ice. And the Sens get it in over the line with a long shot. Kicked aside there by Stolarz. Back in at the side of the goal. Up on the wing, and now back of the net it goes for Morgan Riley. Riley returns the favor to Jake McCabe. He's going to the bench. McCabe gets it ahead for Matthews. Matthews alley-oops it in, thinks about going to the bench, then decides to stay into the rush. The puck goes around back of the net, and Zub will send a long lead pass that goes off Giroux's stick, but is down into the corner and down into the Leaf end. Round on the boards to the near side. Nyes chipped it free, and Matthews quickly gets it ahead for Domi, who drops it back for OEL. Leafs are changing, so Oliver Ekman-Larsson just played it into the zone. Stützle for Ottawa. Got it up on the wing. I was about to ask whether Brady Kachuk was back, but I believe... Oh, no, he's not on this line, is he? Played out at center ice and down into the Toronto zone. It'll roll into the corner, and Cousins plays it around back of the net, far side. Caron tried to get it in front. It goes back of the net. Tanev is knocked down on the play. Puck goes free, comes out in front of the net, and a shot stopped by Stolarz as he is able to cover up on it.
And again, Senators winning one-on-one battles. This time it's in behind the Leaf net. Before it's worked out front, and it was a Dylan Cousins, former Buffalo Sabre, was the one that was able to spin and get a shot into the pads of Anthony Stolarz from about 12 feet.
Are the Sens short a player over there?
No, Kachuk was over there.
Oh, yeah. Draw one by Toronto. Played alley-oop down the ice, but it's going to go wide of the net. And despite the efforts of Nick Robertson, icing called here against Toronto.
Robertson did have the one opportunity in the second period coming off the wing. Does have an assist in the game. But the tough part with Nick Robertson, when everybody expects more offense from him, he's only played 6 minutes. So you want a lot in usually 10 to 12 minutes in a game, which sometimes people lose sight of.
Giroux, a shot from a sharp angle that was stopped by Stolarz. The puck in along the boards. Benoit knocked his man off stride, but it goes to the left wing side. Plevin gets it down into the corner. Tavares back of the net, trying to get it away from Kachuk. It comes along the boards to the line, but not out. Long shot, kicked away by Stolarz. Another shot from an angle goes wide. Comes back to the near point, kept in there by Montepallo, and it's to the side of the goal. Now up on the wing for McMahon, but he doesn't get it out the first time, but has it handed back to him, and he'll carry it to center this time and shoot it in. He missed a hit from Stützle, but gets a rub out there on Zub. Puck along the boards for Calle Järnkrok. Back of the net and behind the net now for Pontus Holmberg. Holmberg curling out, got it back to the point. Riley trying to send it to the net and it was deflected wide. Holmberg again on the far half-board, centers, shot into the chest of Ullmark and held for a face-off. As Järnkrok got the shot away, but Ullmark had the angle, and a face-off coming in the Ottawa zone.
Ullmark's been very good hesitating on shots like this. Ottawa scored a couple similar fashion, a little more wide open in their shooters, but you see Calle Järnkrok from the right wing circle. Ullmark is out, set, square, and makes it look simple.
Ullmark having a discussion with the official. I can imagine you playing. You must have talked to referees all the time. You must have had a great dialogue.
Yeah, and there's some guys, Paul Dvorsky guys that ended up, Rob Schick.
Yeah.
Ended up in the National Hockey League.
Did you get them giggling a little bit to themselves?
We'd have some interesting conversations. I'd give you one with Paul Dvorsky.
All right. Puck comes to center ice as Riley backhands it high into the corner. Sends around back of their goal. Sanderson got it ahead for Shane Pinto. Pinto plays it to the Leaf line and in. Riley being chased hard there by Amadio. Got it around on the boards to the near side. Zub was able to keep it alive. Then a backhand pass to the far side by Nyes, and the Leafs have to go back to regroup. Up on the wing, it goes off the skate and into the zone now by Matthews. Matthews rubbed out on the play as it goes around the wall. Near side, trying to chip it back. Domi pass looking for Matthews on the far side, but it was redirected away from him. Oliver Ekman-Larsson back in his own zone. Up ahead for Willie. Nylander works in over the line on the left wing and then to the near half boards. Took a shot, sharp angle, easy save made there by Ullmark. Back to the point, D to D, into the slot. A shot then taken by Marner that was blocked, and it's cleared out at center ice, and the Leafs will have it under control back in their own end. Tanev to his defense partner. OEL got it ahead and went off the stick, but it's going to be from the wrong side of center and an icing call against Toronto. So what did you say to him?
Oh, Paul Dvorsky. So we were playing the game when I was with Newmarket in Hershey. Now, Leafs had injuries. We had injuries. We were down to, I think, 13 players. We're in the third period. It's a close game. I hadn't played in a while, so back then you couldn't take timeouts anyway. So my strap mysteriously kept coming undone.
Really?
And eventually he said, "You've got to stop this. You've got to go to the bench, or I got to give you a delay of game penalty." I said, "If you don't let me do this, I'm going to puke on your skates right now." At which point, he dug the heel of his skate into the ice. And then called the trainers out with the water bottle to fix the hole. And if anyone ever asks, I have never, even as a broadcaster, said anything bad about Paul Dvorsky.
No, how could you?
Yeah.
How could you? Oh, he's one of the greats.
Yeah. Devo, his brother Greg, a longtime linesman.
Yes. Here's the Leafs across the line. Lorenz got it in. A backhand attempt then by Yarncrook was blocked. Yarncrook hustles off to the puck. Pontus Holmberg back into the slot. Chip to the line and out at center ice.
Just nothing's working, is it?
No. Here the Sens in over the line with Highmore. He lets a shot go that was high and wide, and it's going to carry him to the line and out. Delayed offside. The Leafs will be able to take advantage, and they do. Brought to center ice, and Benoit gets it into the zone, but the Leafs are changing, so there's no pressure, and the Sens will get it off the stick to center off Gaudette and down into the Leaf end. 14:43 to go in the third, and the Leafs need a goal to tie the game. Rink wide off Bobby McMahon's stick into the zone. Sens go back in there after it with Clevin. In against the boards. Robertson got a piece of it. Robertson out here now with Tavares and Bobby McMahon. Brandon Carlo got it ahead for Tavares. Tavares to Robertson. Alley-oops it high, but it's going to be right at the net, and it is easily caught by Linus Ullmark. And so a face-off will come in the Ottawa zone, and we get some shoving there with Tavares involved in it.
Batherson from the Senators.
Nothing more developed. Face-off again in the Ottawa zone. 14:10 to go in the third.
Leafs are down 3-1 to Florida. Max Domi made it 3-2, but the Leafs fell short in the comeback. Here they just need the one to tie. And you're right. I mean, you lose this, forget about first place and all the talk about the Florida Panthers. You've got Tampa winning in Boston tonight. They would pull even with the Leafs. Ottawa Senators would pull to within what, 4, Joe?
Yep.
With a win tonight, and it would be 3 straight in regulation time over the Leafs. So
there's an 11-point difference between Columbus and the Maple Leafs.
Columbus, boy, they're having a tough time. They're losing to. I get to they're down 4-0.
Errant pass goes down the ice. Icing call against Ottawa. And it'll be brought back. And whether the comfort zone of, okay, we're definitely going to make the playoffs. 11 points is a lot of a cushion. But having said that,
could change in 2 weeks.
Oh, absolutely. The thing about the standings is they're difficult to climb, but really easy to drop.
Yes.
Leafs keep the puck in. Domi couldn't get to it. Pushed out at center ice by Ottawa.
Columbus's big game. They're losing to the Rangers 3-0.
Pass ahead. Domi ran out of real estate, then is able to clear it to the line and in. Oh, I don't know. I think Matthews.
No,
maybe it was the other player.
Yeah, it was far side.
Yeah.
Oliver Ekman-Larsson had jumped over first.
Matthews made a great play to stick his skate back onto the blue line, but to no avail. We got a break in the action. Leafs trail 3-2. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the SiriusXM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable. Keeps this title charge on track, surely.
To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app. Just search for your favorite club.
NHL Morning Skate.
Defending Stanley Cup champion, General Manager Bill Zito. You have to be cognizant of the chemistry when you go out and make a potential trade, don't you?
We enjoy a little bit of a benefit now where the room is so strong that they can absorb a lot. We just want seamless guys who come in. Their leaders are Reinhart, Kachuk, Barkov, Bobrovsky. That part, it takes care of itself.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughton and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The
Power Play with Steve Koulias.
General manager of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff. What would finishing first overall mean to the organization, Kevin?
Well, I think any time that you can finish in an area where you're getting recognized, it's special. But again, the important thing for us is process. Is when we buy into playing the way we need to play, then we feel comfortable that we'll win more games than not, and then you let the chips fall where they may.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Senators 3, the Maple Leafs 2, 13:40 to play, third period. And the faceoff outside the Senators' blue line. Laughton won the faceoff. It goes down into the Toronto zone. And Morgan Rielly starts back up ice with a pass off a skate and stick, cleared to center ice and down into the Leaf zone. That Ekman Larson was in position to play it, but he must have missed it because they're going to call icing.
Yeah, give the Ottawa Senators credit for 6.5 minutes of the third period. Nothing's happening, which is exactly what you want when you got a 1-goal lead.
3 shots on goal for Toronto, and a couple of them have been alley-ooped.
Yeah.
That were fairly easy catches for Linus Ullmark. The draw scrummed into the corner near side. Lorenz couldn't get it back, or at least Laughton couldn't get it back to the point. Shot in now by Stützle into the zone. Tkachuk plays it around to an open corner, and Marner is there. Marner ahead for Morgan Rielly. Lead pass finds Laughton. Dropped off now for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. He makes a move at the blue line. Mitch Marner would have had to be about 8 feet 6 inches in order to straddle the line long enough to prevent that from being offside, as much as he tried.
That's what, 2 offsides in the last 45 seconds? It's just nothing is in sync for the Leafs. And again, they're getting away from where they had success earlier in the season. Dump and chase, right? Now everybody's trying to make that move coming over the line. They haven't found a lot of offense, so if they're going to get out of it, it's the equivalent to a guy that's at an 0 for 57 slump, and he's trying to hit it into the upper deck in left field.
Shot down into the Toronto end. Tanev makes a move and carries to center. Into the left wing corner for Robertson. Chopped back of the net. It'll come around to the point. Tanev has it again. He tried to send it to the net. It was blocked. Cleared out at center. A race for the puck now with Batherson getting in with a sharp angle shot that was stopped easily there by Stolarz. Down along the boards. Tavares got it freed up, and it's played to center ice. Bobby McMahon unable to get to it, and it'll be grabbed off by Dylan Cousins and sent back into the Ottawa zone as they regroup. Brought to center now for Zub. Zub will send it off the glass into the far corner. Chopped in there by Amadio and got it back to the net, but the Leafs come away with it. Pushed ahead, and a lead pass looking for Marner was behind him as Nyes couldn't hook up with him, and it comes out into the center ice area. The Leafs try to shoot it back in, but players are trapped. Now they can pressure, and Zub has it around to safety back of the goal. He gets spun around by Nyes, but the puck comes free. Pinto will send it down into the Toronto zone. Back behind the net now is Benoit. Up on the wing for Marner. Marner clears to center ice. Nyes can't come up with it. He's headed to the bench. So is Marner. Here they sends in across the line, and Tkachuk with a one-timer went well wide of the goal. Down into the corner for Stützle. He has it taken away. Leafs trying to get it out in front, and it was knocked out of the air by Tkachuk. And he gets in front of the net trying to disrupt a little of the activity around there, and Benoit gives him a pretty good carving. And a face-off will come in the Toronto zone as a result.
I really feel for Craig Berube in this stretch as well. You can't be overly critical. You know, where you get the players in the team that are maybe thinking you don't have their back when you go to the media, but sometimes it's difficult to sort of come out with the same reasons. You're not winning. There's not a lot of ice. There wasn't a lot of room in front of the net, and we had to fight through. And
well, I think what he did, here's a shot from an angle that is held on by Stolarz. Changing the lines up. is his way of trying to get
something
and deliver a message. This isn't working, so we're changing things, right? And for most of this game, those lines have maintained themselves. Now, he has changed things up a little bit every once in a while, but
it's mostly the Marner moving down with Laughton, or moving over, I guess, with Laughton and Nylander.
Pass ahead for Nylander. Got it ahead. Laughton across the line with Domi. Domi lets a shot go! And that just missed the net. Kept in by Tanev. Down into the corner. Laughton in back of the net for Domi. Tried to come out in front, but had it knocked off his stick. Laughton takes his man to the boards. Trying to maintain possession. It gets it into the corner for Domi. Little bit of room here. Comes out in front of the net with a pass off. OEL a shot! And that was stopped by Ullmark. And cleared high to center. Best scoring chance, and Scotty Laughton is down and injured and heading towards the Toronto bench. Brought on at center by Tanev. Tanev with a shot. Toe save made there by Ullmark. Rebound deflected just wide of the Leaf goal. Pressure finally here for the Maple Leafs. Pontus Holmberg working it back into the corner. Centering pass off a skate. Kept in at the blue line by Jake McCabe. McCabe works it around back of the net. Lorenz looking for a man. Lorenz drops it off for Riley. He rolls it out in front. There's a loose puck and no one can get a shot away. Now a drive is whistled off the blocker of goaltender Ullmark. Cleared to the line but not out. Leafs keeping it in. Lorenz with a good hit. Puck on the boards as McCabe loses his stick. And it'll be cleared to center ice now by Ottawa. Left wing feed, Jake McCabe. Got room across the line. Plays it around the boards, but there's no one there. Marner hadn't reached it there after coming off the bench. Sens get it back out at center. For two real good shifts back-to-back for the Maple Leafs. Right back in off the wing and goes for Nyes. Nyes back into the corner. Matthews couldn't get there. Marner is out here with Matthews and Nyes. Marner with it, couldn't get a pass. And it is cleared out at center right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. Thought for a minute there. There's too many men on the ice. My bad. Long lead pass. Nyes deflects down into the Ottawa zone. See how fast I counted to 6? I'm pretty proud of myself.
You missed 2 numbers.
Oh, sends in now with a pass into the slot. And now here's Tavares failing to get out. Swept around the boards by Brandon Carlo. Tipped by Nylander into the offensive zone. 8:47 to play, third period. Leafs trail by a goal. Kept in with a shot that goes high off the stick of Tavares. Into the corner and back of the net for Bobby McMahon. To Nylander. Nylander curls out of the corner, got it in front of the net. Now coming down is Brandon Carlo! And he shot it wide. Rebound kept in at the blue line by Nylander. A one-timer by Carlo went off a body in front and went wide. It's cleared out and down the ice. Icing call against Ottawa. And one of the Senators over there, is that Shane Pinto?
I think
doubled over?
I think that might have been...
Or Amadio. Was it 2 on the end of it?
Yeah, it might have been the player that got nailed on the Carlo shot that ended up going wide.
Yeah. No, it was Shabbat. Now...
At 72?
Yeah. Shabbat trying to get a new stick. Maybe delayed things a little bit, but the official will have none of it. He's ruling with an iron hand out there tonight. Draw one by Ottawa. They swing it around the boards, and it'll be trapped by Oliver Ekman-Larsson to Riley. Riley just lays it into the left wing corner. Matthews in pursuit, gets a hit in as it comes back to Riley at the blue line. To Nyes. Nyes down around back of the goal. Nyes wraps it out in front. Matthews a chance. Oh, and that was stopped. Matthews didn't get good wood on it, but a great scoring chance nonetheless. Back into the far corner for Nyes. Trying to get around Stützle. It goes free to Shabbat. Shabbat having difficulties. The Leafs get it banked off the boards back to the blue line. Riley goes D to D. Far side for OEL into the corner for Matthews. Centers! And sprawling out is Ullmark. Marner gets nailed from behind.
Well, you better call this.
The Leafs have not had a power play, and the only power play of the game which resulted in a goal was of the rather cheap side, too.
Yeah, and I mean, this was bit of a dive by Marner, but the officials wanted that makeup call. They would have had it there. Yeah, Matthews, I think it went off Shabbat's skate before it got to Linus Ullmark.
I think
off his stick. Yeah.
It did. So we are still trailing by a goal, 3-2 Ottawa. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
At Honda, we take pride in building the CR-V Sport here in Alliston, Ontario. And with all-wheel drive, plus a suite of Honda sensing technologies, we made sure it can handle Ontario winters. But you're probably wondering, what's with the one-touch power moonroof? Well, Ontario, we hold on to the hope that one day winter will be over. Get ready for spring and adventure with the Honda CR-V Sport. Lease with rates from 1.99% for 36 months, plus get a $1,500 Honda bonus. OAC conditions apply. Made with domestic and imported parts. See HondaOntario.com.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuss shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed a musty smell in your home? I hope not, because damp smells mean that you could have a crawl space problem. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your crawl space and get to the root cause of the problem. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.ca/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed where work is performed. See website for details.
William Nylander opened the scoring in the second period. Sanderson tied the game for Ottawa. Matthews on a strange play made it 2-1 Toronto. But Perron tied it, and Giroux on the power play is the difference maker, 3-2 in favor of Ottawa. Round the boards far side for Ridley Gregg. He's going to carry out at center. Gregg works to the line and flips it into the left wing corner. Riley against the boards, trying to poke it along. Domi lost his stick, but now it's pinned up against the boards. Far corner. Tick-tock, finally kick free. Cousins plays it back of the net. Leafs don't react to it very quickly, and now here's Robertson failing as Zub gets a point shot away, blockered away by Stolarz. Puck in the corner and a centering pass is deflected into the near corner. Trying to get there Domi, but it is Zub who plays it down around back of the net for David Perron. It's into the far corner. Senators with good pressure here, but now it goes off his stick and up into the crowd and out of play.
That's down.
Batherson and Oliver Ekman-Larsson having some words.
I don't know who Ekman-Larsson is screaming at. But this whole thing starts, the puck goes into the corner, behind the net, into the corner to the left of Stolarz. 3 Leafs are closer to the puck than any Senator, and they all think the other guy's going to get it. And Drake Batherson picks it up, and the Ottawa Senators get a few seconds more zone time. It's been that kind of flow for them the last few games, hasn't it? This indecisiveness. They haven't been sharp, nothing crisp. And they need somebody to be a hero here with 6:49 to go, trailing by a goal.
Go to the right of Stolarz. Scrummed. It comes back to the point. Kept in by Shabbat. Long shot, well wide. Grabbed off by Tkachuk. Tkachuk against the board. Sends it back of the net for Stützle. Stützle curls. Knocked down by Jake McCabe. It'll come to the near side, and Hamonic is able to keep it in for the Senators. Now Stützle being chased by the Leaf defense. Tanev. Puck comes free, and it'll be off the boards to center, and a pass deflects off Lorenz down into the Ottawa zone. Lorenz into the corner, gets it freed up there as Yarncrook finds Pontus Holmberg back of the centering pass, and that was blocked as it was intended for the Leafs forward, Calle Yarncrook, in front of the net. And there is a perfect example of what the Leafs don't do enough of. Get it in there, get some traffic in front of the net, and get a pass out there for a short, quick shot. And Yarncrook just failed. Comes back to the point, kept in by Toronto. Far side, Brandon Carlo couldn't keep it in, and it's down into the Leaf end, but under control as it's reversed, and Carlo will skate around back of the net. The former Boston Bruin gets it ahead. Matthews thinks about dropping it off, then curls in front of his own goal, makes a pass ahead for Marner. Marner sends it in off the left wing boards and tries to get in. He was sandwiched there and spun around, but the puck kept in by Toronto. Round back of the net for Nyes. Nyes couldn't come up with it cleanly, but he's created a bit of a hassle back of the net. And now the Sens try to get it out, and they play it off the boards and into the crowd.
I don't think this goes off the boards, Joey. I think it's launched directly over the glass, and the Leafs, thanks to a delay of game penalty, to Artem Zub, are going to go on their first power play of the night.
So, Zub to the box. A break here to get everybody rested. And what a huge power play this is. The Maple Leafs are 6 of their last 17 over their last 5 games. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hey, Daddy Gang, this is Alex Cooper. The SiriusXM app is your home for all things Unwell. All new exclusive channels from me and my friends. Unwell Music. The latest episodes of your favorite podcasts. Amy Schumer, Monica Lewinsky, Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton, Winnie Harlow, welcome.
Hello, our daddy.
And more live, unfiltered conversations for the girls.
We're gonna believe this. Who was it?
Why? Just search Unwell in the SiriusXM app.
The Point with Boomer Gordon.
For months, I've been listening to hockey people warn the Sabres. Don't move on from Dylan Cousins. This is the one you'll regret. The fact that you're trading in division is amazing to me. This guy can come back and haunt you like every Sabre does. But if I'm an Ottawa Senators fan, Jake, I'm over the moon on this trade.
Point with Boomer Gordon.
1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio.
SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the SiriusXM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable. Keeps this title charge on track, surely.
To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app. Just search for your favorite club.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Power play brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy winter to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. As big a power play as the Leafs have had this year. Near side for Nylander. Into the corner it goes. Tavares centering pass for Marner. Tried to steer it in and is blocked. And a breakaway opportunity for Giroux. Trying to catch him is Tavares. Stopped by Stolarz. And the Leafs will turn it back up ice with Nylander. Oh my. Nylander dropping it off. Marner got it off to Matthews on the left wing. Denies back to Matthews. Matthews dropping it back. Marner walks the line. Left point now. Down into the corner. Nylander curls out. Top of the circle, still with it. Down low it goes to Nyes. Nyes trying to come to the front of the net. That's blocked. Rebound in front of the goal. Willie turns. Can't get a shot. Now he does. Pad save made by Ullmark. Tavares. He's got to be dog tired after chasing down Giroux. Now here's Nylander. Speaking of Giroux, he's probably tired. Back on the near side, Nylander looks to cross-ice pass. It's deflected high to the blue line, and out and down the ice it goes.
Well, that wasn't a clear lane either. That was trying to force it. And Matthews not really in a goal-scoring spot.
Marner comes out, drops for Austin Matthews. Left wing Nylander to the line, backhanded into the corner, slowed up enough though by the Sens and goaltender, and it is shot back out at center ice. Marner up ahead for Matthews. Matthews across the line, left wing side for Nyes. Line pass comes back to the blue line, just kept alive. Matthews into the corner, drops it off for Robertson. Back it goes to Marner. Marner loses the handle on the puck, and it is shot down the ice by Ottawa. 13 seconds left in a penalty that the Leafs have taken no advantage of, and now a bad pass by Domi, and the penalty is going to expire before they get it up on the wing. McMahon gets it into the zone. McMahon going around back of the net. Far side for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Back to the blue line, trapped by Riley. Sent to the net, gloved by Ullmark. And that's the only shot I think he had to handle in that power. But it wasn't even on the power play. It was over.
And maybe Nylander had the shot from the slot that Ullmark got his right pad on. But the best scoring opportunity of the power play is Claude Giroux in a shorthanded breakaway.
Boy, John Tavares worked hard to get back on that, but
that just adds to the frustration, right? You got your 5 best players on the ice at a critical time, and it's not that you say it was bad luck and they didn't get a bounce. There was just nothing. No opportunities, no push.
And too much around the perimeter. And no one shooting the puck to the net and getting traffic in there and getting an ugly goal. Draw to the right. 2:59 to go, and we'll be keeping an eye on Anthony Stolarz as an errant pass has gone down the ice, and an icing call here against Ottawa.
And it goes to so many players that I think you expected more of. Bobby McMahon's got 11 games. This is his 12th game without a goal. The last time he scored was before the Four Nations break in a game in Seattle. And again, we're talking about a guy that plays 13 to 15 minutes. But you see when he's on, he contributes offensively. Nice. And most of his success this year has come playing with Max Domi and Nick Robertson.
Draw to the right of Ullmark. Pontus Holmberg, Järnkrok, and Lorenz. The draw is scrummed. Lorenz after it as it's sent around the boards. OEL was able to just keep it in. Sens tried to play it. OEL blocked that, but it comes out. There's a whistle. And I kind of got a little frightened there because Pontus Holmberg was into a triple Lutz without even trying. And it looked like he was going to go down and there was going to be a breakaway.
That might have fortunately gone into the Senators' bench and back out onto the ice. Then I think that might have caused the spin for Holmberg where he was going to play it off the boards. The next thing you know, it was right at him. Stolarz on the bench, at least for the extra attacker here.
Now, in fairness, I really don't know what a triple Lutz is.
You think you may be
but
one.
It looked like it. Draw to the left with 6 attackers on for Toronto. Tavares wins the draw. Back to the point. Marner. The wrist shot went wide. The rebound near corner. Center in front. Jam play. Oh, big save. Huge save off Tavares by Ullmark. That is the save of the game right there.
And finally the Leafs get it to the net. The problem with Tavares is the only way this was really going in if it was going to be 5-hole because he was in tight.
No chance to elevate.
Yeah, right to the top of the crease is where he let it go.
Draw to the right again. 2:34 to go, and the Leafs with 6 attackers. Marner in front with a shot. That deflected off the skate and went wide off the stick of Matthews. To the line. Senators can't get it out. Pass in front of the goal. Tavares! Stop the rebound! Hit the side of the goal. Centered in front. And unable to get a shot away was Morgan Riley. Tavares trying to keep it in, but the Sens get it out. And with an empty net, they've got a 2-on-1. And they shot it wide. Oh, my. Hope springs eternal. What a couple of great chances the Leafs had. Nylander across the line for Tavares. Tanai shooting. Pad save. Comes back to the blue line. Marner keeping it into the slot. Works into the corner to Matthews. Matthews back to Marner. Marner back to Matthews. Curling out. Still with it to Marner in the slot. Wrist shot coming blocked. It'll come to the near boards. Nylander able to keep it in. Nylander down the left wing. Closes down low it goes. Tavares trying to step out. Shot comes back. Another shot by Matthews was blocked. Matthews again with 1:27. Back to the blue line to Riley. Back to Austin Matthews. Doesn't shoot it. Now when he tried it was blocked. He's able to keep it in, but no, it comes out at center ice. Played ahead. That's got to be offside. But it's waved off, and the Senators are going to score into an empty net, and the Leafs are going to look at this.
Yeah, I think this is offside. Well, I mean, they do the toe drag. It was Ridley Gregg, of all people, did his best to drag his toe across the line. I'll take a quick look at it. I don't know. Either way.
Well, the Leafs have got to do it.
You've got a challenge.
Ottawa's looking to use their coach's challenge to see if the play was offside prior to the goal.
Yeah, and when I first saw it, Joe, I thought it was offside when it happened in real time. Now I'm not 100% sure as we've seen the replay on it.
We've got to slow that down.
Yeah, we're seeing it again. Gives Craig Berube an extra timeout as well should the Leafs win the challenge. If not, essentially game's over. You'll be down by 2 with 1:10 to go and be shorthanded as well. Oh, it's offside.
Oh, sure is offside. Yep.
There is the perfect camera angle.
I saw it from up here.
Yeah.
Why would you even think about disagreeing with me? This has been a nice relationship for 23 years, but it's going to hell in the handcart here really quickly.
23 years. Well, the first 23. It's been 29. And then I worked at TV when you were in radio before that, so now put it at 30 years.
Oh, jeez. Well, this is taking longer than we thought, but here's the announcement now from Kyle Raymond.
After the video review for the coach's challenge for offside, it was determined the play was offside, therefore there's no goal. Please reset the clock to 1:15. 1:15 on the clock, please.
This be something if the Leafs tie the game.
Now, I mean, that's their second reprieve, right? Ottawa missed the empty net with Stolarz on the bench. Stolarz will go back in with the face-off outside the Leaf blue line. And what are they going to reset the clock to? Is it 1:15?
Believe so.
I believe 1:10 was around the time of the offside, so Stolarz will go back. So the Leafs win the challenge. Get an extra
timeout
to get everybody rested. And because the puck was passed inside the center ice area, it will come outside the Ottawa blue line.
And the draw poked to the Leaf blue line. Marner goes back behind his goal with 1:08. He'll start up, and Stolarz will start to the bench. Matthews comes to center. Matthews in across the line. Plays into the right wing corner for Nylander. It goes around back of the net. Cleared up on the wing, and Marner pinches in to keep it alive. Back of the net it goes. Looking for a man in front. It comes back to Marner to the point. And a shot by Riley. Stopped. Big rebound in front of the net. It got past Tavares, and the Senators get it out at center. And Ridley Gregg, looking for the empty net, has it blocked. 39 seconds. Still a hope. Up on the wing it comes for Nyes. Nyes launches it high into the zone. He roars in there after it. Got a piece of his man. The puck comes free. Still free. Back into the slot. OEL with 23 seconds. Into the corner for Riley. Center pass. Stop. Rebound in front. They jam away at it. Still free. Back to the point. 14 seconds. A shot blocked. Cleared out at center. This time, an empty net goal will be scored. Amadio tips it home.
Yeah, Ekman Larsson couldn't get it through the high man coming out. So more excitement probably in the last 2 minutes of this game than we saw in the first 58. Leafs finally had a push. Probably the most disappointing part of that, Joe, was the power play before Stolarz went to the bench. What, about 4 minutes left? They get the extra man, and there was just nothing towards the net. From our count, it was one shot on goal. And on the other side, Linus Ullmark makes that mistake to put the Leafs up 2-1 and then shuts the door the rest of the way. The Leafs get absolutely nothing.
Save he made.
Off Tavares at the
Tavares.
end. Yep.
Was the game saver.
And with the Tampa Bay Lightning winning, the Leafs forget about Florida in first place. I believe Tampa has more regulation wins, so the Leafs will actually slip to third. And the Ottawa Senators, oh, by the way, will move to within 4 points of the Leafs. And that's how far the Leafs suddenly are out of a wild card spot.
Yep. Tampa Bay now with 33 regulation wins. And there is the horn. And the narrative will continue. And until they do something about it, you can't argue it. I mean, it's just there. It's, they're...
Well, and I mean, I know I keep going back to this, but when you look at games since the break, and that's starting with Carolina at home, the number of times it's been 2 goals in a period, 3 goals against in a period, where the first part of the season, it was 2 or 3 tops in a game. Now they're blowing it open in a period. We saw up 3-0 in Utah. Then it's 3-3 before the end of the period. They give up 3. Yeah, they give up 3 in Vegas in the first period. Even the first game against Carolina, they got a 4-0 lead. Give up 3 in the third period. Make it close. Pittsburgh. I think other than the Ranger game. San Jose. You got a 2-0 lead in the third period. Give up 2, and end up losing it. So Colorado was the same thing. Multi-goal periods again. So I think that's, to me, the frustrating part is that you're losing games at times in 20 minutes. You're giving up enough in 20 minutes or a 12-minute stretch to lose a hockey game and not have an answer for it.
Well, we'll ship it off to Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart for the post-game show and invite you to join us on Monday night, St. Patrick's Day night. The Leafs will be in their St. Pat's jerseys as they will be here, and we will as well. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Mad Dog Sports Radio gets you set for the NCAA tournament with our annual Selection Sunday show. Join me, Christopher Russo, and Steve Torrey tomorrow from 5 to 9 Eastern as we get you set for this year's big dance.
We'll tell you who's in and who's out. Visit with some of the top head coaches, chat with the selection committee chairman, and give you a chance to share your reactions and opinions.
It's the Mad Dog Sports Radio Tournament Selection Show tomorrow, 5 until 9 Eastern on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM 82, or on the Sirius XM app.
Nothing puts you closer to the action than Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Dallas already was the highest scoring team in the league since January 1st. They're so deep. They made a trade, like Michael Granlund there. Tyler Seguin may come back. Rantanen will fit in there beautifully. And another sort of guy drawn to the southern United States, no state.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Leafs game. Now that we've got your attention, Tom has something to say.
Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell for some notifications for all the streams that we have on TSI.
You know it. If it's a Toronto sports game, we're live. The Maple Leafs, the Raptors, the Argos, TFC, Blue Jays all summer long. Thank you so much for becoming an insider and hitting that subscribe button. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go!
Channel on your preset, Sirius 161 XM 206.
It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the Sirius XM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable. Keeps this title charge on track, surely.
To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Just search for your favorite club.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The world's most thrilling league is now in the palm of your hand. Hear every English Premier League match all season long on the Sirius XM app. Just search for your favorite team. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
This is Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
And it is Ottawa 4, Toronto 2, the final score. Welcome to Leafs Game Night live from Scotiabank Arena. Jim Taddy, former NHLer Anthony Stewart, and Jimmy Ralph kind enough to hang around. And Ralphie, the loss leaves a mark because Tampa wins and slides past the Leafs in the second in the division, and Ottawa creeps closer to the Leafs. I thought Ottawa was full value for the victory, as close as it was.
Yeah, and they won a lot of moments. With the Leafs, 2 of the goals they give up in the second period have the puck on the boards. It's a matter of just chip it out. And, you give Ottawa credit on the forecheck and winning those one-on-one battles. But all you got to do is move the puck 15 feet out. All of a sudden it's turned over. Guys are out of position. And, Stewie and I were talking before we came back on the air. The other thing that you got to give Ottawa credit for, Linus Ullmark gives the Leafs a gift goal on Austin Matthews. Came out to play it.
Yep.
I think tried to redirect it to Thomas Chabot, but Chabot kind of went the other way that Ullmark thought he was going. And so the Leafs get a gift. It's 2-1, and Ullmark shuts the door the rest of the way. Made a big save off John Tavares late. He made a number of big stops, but didn't give up the one that allowed the Leafs to sneak back into it. And that was the formula the Leafs had in the first 50 games of the season, 45 games of the season, where even if they weren't perfect, they would get the big save at the right time, and now the script has simply been flipped on them.
So, it was a good effort near the end, the second half of the game there, especially the second half of the third period. A really strong finish. They, put the pressure on. They almost scored there. But at this point of the season, is a good effort good enough at this point?
No. Now you're at the point, play bad and get 2 points, I think, but you sort of saw it coming. I mean, even, before this streak started, and it was really, I guess you got to go back to the third period against San Jose, where they're up 2-0, blow the third period lead and lose. But I think the concerning part is what the Leafs have sort of been famous for in the last few years is beat the good teams, but have trouble with teams that are out of the playoffs. Now it's the opposite. Now you're having trouble with Vegas, Colorado, Florida, Ottawa, the teams that are in the playoffs, and that's probably more concerning to a lot of people, including the Leaf coaching staff at this point.
I go back to how Florida won that game and how Ottawa won tonight. You would see the entire, the unit, the Florida, everybody sort of participating and building off each other, and I think we saw that with Ottawa tonight. I don't think we see that with the Leafs, do we?
No, and I mean, the other very simple way to put it, both those games too, was special teams. You lose by a game to Florida, you're -2 in special teams. You lose tonight, essentially a 1-goal game, you're -1 in special teams. So it's but you're right. I really thought, I know they scored early in the game against Florida, but their starts, I think that's what's been sort of confusing to me, that usually, and going back to that Carolina game after the break, remember they came out flying on the forecheck. They had speed, and now they seem to have gone back to, we've got to pass the puck over the blue line. You see guys fly in the zone all the time. I mean, you've got the defenseman back on their own end, and somebody's at the far blue line waiting for the puck. So they don't come out with any speed. That makes it, if you are going to dump it in, it's because you fire a 70-footer up to a guy who's just got to deflect it in at the blue line because he's got no speed, standing still waiting for the play. So that's, I think, another thing, and Stewie, and I'll leave this to you, but do you not think that was something early in the year? It was chip and chase. It was get in on the forecheck, and they were able to create a lot. And now they're going back to everything stretched out, and everybody's trying to make that play getting over the blue line.
Yeah, I'm noticing a lot more guys blowing the zone. They're trying to hit that home run where that's where, Tats and I were talking about symptoms of last year, but where they really thrived was chipping and charging, retrieving pucks, right? You saw Nyes regularly, a lot of guys, McMahon getting in and really controlling the puck. A lot of one-and-done plays, right? One-and-done plays. Not really going to put it on Stolarz. Again, I don't think he had his best game, but what I'm noticing now, he's looking a little bit smaller in the net, but he's just not making those saves, those big ones that he did earlier on in the season. He made a great breakaway save on Giroux on the power play there, but just notice he's just a little off with just regards to the timing of that big save that was just almost a routine for him early in the season.
Yeah, we call it the one-on-one shots that are going in. Where they're all good shots. But, usually when a guy's on, it's going to take a deflection or a rebound or a screen to be able to beat him. But these are, I see you, you're off the wing, I'm out to challenge and cut down the angle, and the puck's finding the back of the net. And like we said, that was the opposite early on in the year, where the Leafs were scoring those goals off the wing. Max Domi did get one like that off Bobrovsky, but for the most part, the Leaf goaltending that had been flawless in the first 45, 50 games of the season, now there's been some cracks, and it's compounded by the fact that they're not getting the offense at the other end as well. But like I said, the multi-goal periods against, that's what hurts. We talk about Ullmark shutting the door after giving up the second one.
Yeah.
But every time it's 3 goals against, with Utah in a period. It's 2 goals against with San Jose. It's 3 goals in the second tonight. 2 goals in the second against Florida. And, a team that was so good defensively for 1, 2, or 3 goals would be a whole night against. Now it's coming in a period, and they're not able to overcome it.
I just go back to the layman explanation of it looks a lot like last year, whereas if you went to before the Four Nations break, it didn't. So I don't know how this creeps in, and you could alibi with the schedule, but at this time of the year, there's no alibi at all.
Yeah, well, I would say creeps in is the right way to put it.
Yeah,
and I think what human nature, right? If you're struggling in golf, swing harder, right?
Tell me how that's going to work.
Yeah, but in your mind, you're saying, you know what? If I try harder, if I swing harder, and it's like Stewie was saying. I mean, it's like the guy that's gone over 53 comes up and he wants to put it in the second deck. He doesn't want to go up the middle or opposite field to get a hit and get out of it. You think you've got to do it in a spectacular fashion, and it just seems to be blowing up on them. And like I said, there's Bobby McMahon, I think now hasn't scored since coming back from the break. There's a lot of guys that have been silent, even though the big guys, and rightfully so, have to bear the brunt of the responsibility. But just the offense, we haven't seen like we saw in the last. I looked at the clock. It started with about 9.5 minutes to go. They had a good push, but that was their best push in maybe 4 or 5 games. And I think that's, maybe it's something to build on, a turning point, but schedule doesn't get any easier. Calgary needs wins, and, Colorado, as we saw, is a pretty good team. So,
your thoughts on the new Lions, and do you see them going back to normal next game?
Yeah, I didn't see anything. I know eventually Laughton, Marner, and Nylander were put together, as opposed to, I think, what the original setup for the Lions were. It really, maybe the best line at times, as far as offensive pressure, was the fourth line. Yes. Where it seemed that they were able to get the puck deep and work the boards. Didn't get a lot of clean-cut scoring chances, but I just thought, it might have been a great lesson to say, this is how you play. This is how you had success earlier in the year. It was dump and chase, come over the line with speed on the forecheck, and get the puck back. And I give Lorenz Holmberg and Nick Robertson some credit for that, even though I think Robertson ended up with an assist.
Yeah,
Yarncroke
went down in his spot towards the end too, but you're pushing for a goal there, so it was basically a 3-line rotation with the other two reverting to how they were.
Yeah, I thought they had some good moments by outworking the opposition, and
it's easy to edit that and come up with a goal, but I just, even though they had a lot of good chances, I don't know if there was an A+ chance. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And like we said, and Ullmark, you can tell by the way he's playing, because we've had that kind of goaltending from the Leafs earlier in the season. You knew it was going to take a great play. It was going to be a one-timer or a rebound or a deflection, something spectacular to beat him. You just felt that if it was one-on-one, and he had a couple of moments as well where guys came in off the wing and there was nothing. Although Nick Robertson did have a chance, but it looked like Ullmark was a little off the angle and he missed high and wide. But you just got the feeling that he's in this zone now where if it's one-on-one off the wing especially, there's no room for you.
Matthew scored tonight. What are your thoughts on his game? There seems like there's a little bit, something's off. I think, he's not getting in on the forecheck. He's not turning pucks over. He's not dominating. He had a really good job in the faceoff circle. It just seems like at this point of the year, that's where you're expecting him to almost take over a game. He's done that in the past where he scores that big goal, but just him and Marner just seemed like a little offensively.
Yeah, and the his ability, which I think makes him so good. I mean, you've got the release, the shot, and everything else, which we haven't seen a lot of. Like even with the goals that he scored this year, we're used to that bar down laser, and we haven't seen a lot of those. Even the one before this, I think it was in Pittsburgh, was a low hard shot. But we're not seeing the I own you in the offensive zone. I'm going to go in, I'll lift your stick, and you're never taking the puck away from me, and something is going to happen, whether I shoot it or whether I pass it off. And that domination hasn't been there. And, I got a text during the game from Michel Goulet, who's out in Colorado still, and he said, better now than a month from now.
Well,
to go
that's
through
true.
it.
Yeah.
Although I think
it's tough to just turn it
as
on.
long as it ends in a month.
Yeah. It is getting to the point where you don't want it. You don't want to be looking at your playoff life instead of where you're seated anymore, because I think now you're at the point where you're in this mix. You could still finish first. You could be a wild card team and struggle to get in the last couple of weeks of the season. So, but you've got to find a way to turn it around and win your share of games to solidify a spot somewhere.
So tough question, but if everybody says Thursdays was a playoff game, was this one too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely, because you've got a team that has found this streak. Although talking to the Ottawa guys, Gordy Wilson and Dean Brown, that longtime Ottawa broadcasters, they said we thought when we had the 5-game losing streak before this streak, we thought here we go again.
Yeah.
That late push, we get into a playoff spot, and now we're going to drop out. But they've found something. They've come together as a group. Steve Staios has done a great job, as has Travis Green behind the net, and they've addressed a lot of areas. And Ottawa's for real. I've watched a lot of their games over the last little while, and maybe the one game they were lucky to get through. And again, it went back to goaltending. Linus Ullmark stopped, I think, 48 of 49 against Detroit, and they win at 2-1. So they found different ways to win different nights. I thought Brady Tkachuk was a little quiet tonight, but he's been brilliant the 7 or 8 games before. So not always the same heroes.
I already know the answer to this, but is fatigue a factor? Can you use that as an excuse?
It would have to be mental at this point, wouldn't it, Stewie?
Yep.
It's I realize you had that stretch, but you're saying, okay, they got back from Utah, Tuesday? Saturday's, still, they still got to go back to California and do it. So, you've got to be so careful. If anyone is listening to this that's an LA Kings fan or a Vancouver fan,
Winnipeg Jets,
we're gonna talk about the schedule and how tired they are. I suppose you go through it, but there's, I think you're beyond the excuse. You should have that natural adrenaline back by the time you played Florida here Thursday, and again Saturday night against Ottawa, a team you haven't now beaten in 5 straight games. You got to go back to 2023, the last time the Leafs beat Ottawa.
Yikes. Ralphie, thanks for hanging around.
Thanks, boys. Traffic should be good now.
Yeah, that's why we kept you.
I'll text you.
Yeah, I've got the update from the highway. You're good now. Clear drive home now.
Yeah, thanks, boys.
Just have fun getting out of the parking lot. Other than that, it's going to be okay. Really, Stu, from here on in, it's what are you going to do about it? That's the game everybody plays, right?
Exactly.
Didn't work out. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, it's how you respond, right? And no one's going to feel sorry for you. You talked about the fatigue factor, but other teams have to go through it, right? So it's what did you do during that 2.5 weeks off? Were you out eating bonbons? Were you getting prepared? But for me, it's, yes, there's the depth and, there's the goaltending, but, now that I'm, thinking about it, it's the big guys sort of got to step up and try to weather the storm, right? And, for me, I'm looking like a guy like Tavares. I think he has stepped up and he's elevated his game he's been a driver, right?
I felt bad for him tonight. He had the game on his stick.
Right. So again, I'm looking at the Matthews and the Marners, and again, it could be, and we've heard Marty St. Louis talk about it, multiple Stanley Cup champion, talking about as you get older and you have success, you sort of learn when to turn it on and off through an 82-game season. It's tough to be elite all 82 games. So is that the case? I'm not too sure, right? Because now you're tied with Tampa Bay, who's surpassed you in the standings, 4-point lead over Ottawa. And again, I don't want to get into that conversation, but I'm not saying that the playoffs are in jeopardy, but at the break they were sort of cruising, close to first place. Now it's like a dogfight. So, but I think with the adversity that this group has gone through all year, this is just another feather in their cap to get over, and I think they can do it. But tonight is a night where, yes, they're pushing for the final 9-10 minutes and have a chance to get to the game, but there's all that talent, paid a lot of money. Someone's got to step up and make a big, big play. So the effort was there. I understand that. But for me, it's the results, right? And again, I was a guy that, I had to make the big hit or the big turnover, or the big block shot, and there was other guys when the moments, arose, they stepped up. The Eric Stahls, the Olli Jokinens, the Anze Kopitars, the Ilya Kovalchuks, those guys we can rely upon. Hey, get us there, and we'll help we'll put the group over the top. And that's where I think it's lacking a little bit this last couple of weeks with the Maple Leafs.
You said something there that we're going to explore after the break. 4-2 Ottawa wins over the Leafs. This is Leafs Game Night, live from Scotiabank Arena on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Touchdown.
Great catch.
Give me a high five.
5 minutes later.
Interception.
Awesome play.
Give me a high five.
2 hours later.
Eddie, did you order 20 high five specials from 2-for-1 Pizza?
You kept asking for high fives.
I meant, never mind. I'm hungry.
High five. Buy any large traditional pizza and get up to 3 medium one-topping pizzas for just $5 each.
2-for-1 Pizza, 2-for-1.
In Scarborough, there's this fire behind our eyes.
A passion in our bellies.
It's in the hearts of our neighbors.
The eyes of our nurses.
And the hands of our doctors.
It's what makes Scarborough, Scarborough.
In our hospitals, we do more than anyone thought possible, with less than anyone could imagine.
But it's time to imagine what we can do with more.
Join Scarborough Health Network, and together,
we can turn grit into greatness.
Donate at lovescarborough.ca.
Leafs Game Night, Ottawa wins 4-2. Welcome back to Scotiabank Arena. Jim Taddy and former NHLer Anthony Stewart. So what you said before the break about the big guys having, really what I'm seeing here, once you said that, I thought what I'm not seeing is everybody playing their role. Seems to be a little scattered. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. And I was just mentioning some of my former players, like when the game was close or the game was on the line, that's when they would step up and they would welcome the moment, right? They would be, they wouldn't shy away from it, or they're like, oh man, they're going to defer to somebody else. They're like, you know what? I'm going to put this team on my back. I'm going to go above and beyond, right? You saw what the Tkachuk brothers did at the Four Nations, and that's sort of what I'm missing with this group right now. It's like, we're waiting. We're waiting to see, can Austin Matthews make a big play? Is Marner going to make a good dish? What's Nylander going to do, right? So I think there's a little bit of deferment, and I think maybe that has to do with the fact that there are so many stars, there's so many game breakers, and there's only so much puck. But that's sort of what I'm missing, the feel, right? That last 8-9 minutes of urgency, where's that in the first period? Where's that in the middle of the game when they maybe go up 1-0 to make it 2-0, or they draw the penalty? So there's just sort of they're chasing the game or following the game, where when you have that many stars, you have to dictate the pace of the game, dictate the way that the game is going. So that's what it's sort of been missing more often than not with this group. And you want to stay as positive possible. Again, if I'm Berube, I'm going to be like, yeah, we need some big moments from some big players, but I don't think now's the time to push the panic button. You just got to get back to routines. But that's what I want to see from up here. I want to see that crowd going wild on an Austin Matthews 2-3 shot segment where he just misses, and then the next time he comes in and goes bar down, or Marner with the big pass. So it's tough. There's a lot of pressure. Yes, I understand the market, but when they do that, that's when this group goes over the top.
So could I say that because the big guys aren't doing that it sort of makes everybody else try to do that? Does that make any sense?
Yeah. I would say, you see Domi go for a little bit of a rush, or you'll see Benoit, hey, it's Benoit time. It's time for me to go end to end. And, sometimes guys play without their role, above their role, or above their pay grade, right? So that happens, but I don't think I think that's a symptom of sort of what's going on. I don't think that's the main reason. But again, for me, I'm like, there's been a lot of games now where that power play can help get them in the game, or help put a game away, or the penalty kill can help, right? Or the big save, right? So that's where we're talking at the beginning of the show. Was the goaltending masking some of the real symptoms or some of the real issues of this group, right? Not being able to defend off the rush, getting caught for extended period of times in the D zone. Were they just getting those big saves at key moments and they're not getting it now? That's probably why they're struggling. I don't know. It's something to discuss for sure.
Zub, puck over the glass, 14:55. That's an opportunity that certainly wasn't cashed in on. Here's Austin Matthews postgame and what the difference was.
Yeah, the margins have been really small in the last couple of games, but I think, just details in our game, I think, haven't quite been there. And, I mean, it's on us to figure that out and to just be better. I mean, we got to get it through our heads at all these games, especially some of the teams we're playing. These games will be playoff-like games. There's teams that are, fighting for their lives. They're trying to make a push. They're desperate teams like the one we played tonight. So, we got to wrap our heads around that and just be better all around as a team.
Why do you think the details might have been there earlier in the season and maybe over the last several months?
Well, I mean, it's not going to be perfect throughout the year, but I think when there's slippage like that, it's just trying to get back on track as quickly as possible. For whatever reason, it just hasn't kind of clicked, hasn't really gotten back on track for us. So, I think it's just important for us to just take a look in the mirror, hit the reset button. We got an important week coming up with a lot of games. We just got to push through whatever the adversity is that we're going through and just kind of recommit to one another and just be better. This is an important week. There's nothing we can change now about this past one. And, we know the areas and the details that we need to be a better team on.
Is that both ends? Awesome.
Definitely. Both ends, special teams, and everything. It's everything.
How are you feeling, Austin? Obviously, you got the rest this morning. Where are your energy levels at? How are you feeling about your game?
Yeah, fine. It's that point in the season where everybody's grinding through something right now. So, it's just got to keep pushing, keep trying to do what I can do, compete out there, and just trying to keep generating opportunities.
Max doesn't get an assist on your goal, but he obviously was a big part of the pressure there to turn the puck over. What did you like about playing with him tonight?
Yeah, I always enjoy playing with him. He's an easy guy to play with. He needs the puck. He shoots the ice extremely well. I found we have pretty good chemistry anytime we've been able to play together. It seems to click pretty well. So we made some good plays tonight. You see that play. It's not necessarily a skill play. It's more of an effort based play, but I thought he was really moving his feet on that tonight for us.
The surface got Laughton right now. What a game like that. The surface got Laughton in a game like that, Austin.
I didn't see him.
What did you think about Laughton getting that?
Yeah, I mean, he's the guy that likes to play at the net, so pretty great to see that. Obviously, he's a newer guy around here, but a lot of us know him from different camps, being from Toronto and stuff like that, so I think he's fitting really well here, and it's always exciting to see a guy do that.
What have you noticed about the Sens this season? It looks like maybe they're ready to take a step. We got to see Brady up close at the Four Nations. Like, what are you seeing from them this year?
Yeah, they're a hungry team. I mean, they've been through some ups and downs, and a lot of guys that kind of came to the league early on, a lot of high skill and stuff. Their game's matured, and they're playing as a team right now. So obviously they're making a big push at the moment.
Leaf captain Austin Matthews. Tonight's post-game comments powered by your Ontario Honda dealers. Power meets play with the all-electric Honda Prologue SUV, available now at your Ontario Honda dealer. 4-2, Ottawa wins over the Leafs. This is Leafs Game Night live from Scotiabank Arena on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
MLB Network Radio is getting you ready for the season, talking with the best players in baseball.
Here with Juan Soto. These players, they have experience in the NL East and playing New York and everything, so I think it's going to be really fun.
Joined now by Angels outfielder Mike Trout.
I know where I'm at. I know when I'm out there, I still feel I'm the best player on the field, and that's the whole mindset coming.
Practice once, now we got it. Next time, you leaving your phone on the table? I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah!
4-4, I got it.
And Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
General manager of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff. What would finishing first overall mean to the organization, Kevin?
Well, I think anytime that, you can finish in an area where you're getting recognized, it's special. But again, the important thing for us is process. Is when we buy into playing the way we need to play, then, we feel comfortable that we'll win more games than not. And then you let the chips fall where they may.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
For months I've been listening to hockey people warn the Sabres, don't move on from Dylan Cousins. This is the one you'll regret. The fact that you're trading in division is amazing to me. This guy can come back and haunt you like every Sabre does. But if I'm an Ottawa Senators fan, Jake, I'm over the moon on this trade.
Points with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Leafs Game Night live from Scotiabank Arena. Jim Taddy and former NHLer Anthony Stewart with you. 4-2 Ottawa wins. And so eerily similar, I would suggest, to the Florida loss here in the same building on Thursday night. Playoff game comes down to slim margins, and I just really liked the way Florida played in that game in terms of coming back. And Ottawa took care of business when they had to. Again, very slim margins, but I think you saw the full Florida unit and you saw the full Ottawa unit.
Yeah, both teams are playing with desperation, and I think that's what's missing in Toronto's game as of late. Both teams have a lot to play for. Florida right now, they have to sort of weather the storm without Tkachuk and Marchand and Ekblad out for probably another 16 to 17 games. And so I think for Toronto, the one thing is and we discussed this at the beginning, the pregame show, whenever everyone's ready to throw in the towel, this is the Maple Leafs of Maple Leafs old. They find a way to go now, rip off a 2-3 game win streak. So again, I'm not giving up on this group. Again, they've shown that they can perform at a high level. They've gained a lot of equity. They've shown a little bit more depth scoring. They've shown they got the goaltending. And remember, Stolarz and Wall, this is sort of their first time being guys that have to carry the load and carry the mail, right? So there's going to be ups and downs. It wasn't just going to be Vezina caliber seasons for the both of them. They know there's going to be ups and downs. So, as Ralphie mentioned, it's best to go through it now. Yeah. Game 65, 66 versus game 80 plus, right?
Or game 83.
Or game 83, yes, exactly.
Which is the first game of the playoffs.
Yes,
We've all been there. Thank you. Thanks for the reminder. I'd almost forgotten. No, not really.
Yeah, but again, there's symptoms of years past. But the one thing is, Craig Berube, he's won a Stanley Cup. He knows his group. He demands that accountability. Again, they're going to have some practices. They got tomorrow practice, probably tomorrow off. Game skate Monday. But again, Calgary's another test. It's another test. No one feels sorry for the Maple Leafs right now. They have to find a way to get it. But for me, it's just a little bit more consistent effort. But ultimately, this is now where the big guys got to come in and earn their money. And I think they can do it. They've shown they can do it in the past. I think they can do it now.
Coach's comment is powered by your Ontario Honda dealers. Power meets play with the all-electric Honda Prologue SUV, available now at your Ontario Honda dealer. Coach Berube on finding the urgency.
I mean, it's hockey, right? There's certain stretches you go through where it's not there, and you just keep battling away as a coach, and you gotta, hold your players accountable to it, and they gotta hold themselves accountable to it. They need to make their mind up in their room, the importance of the start of the game and 60 minutes of urgency, details, doing things right, playing our game. We just I didn't find that we wanted to play our game early enough in this game. We wanted to bring pucks back and play slow and try to go through them, and we had some chances off the rush. I get all that, but you don't build your game. Third period, we played more north, won more battles, more urgency, and it's a different period, right? So it's about us getting together here and put 60 minutes together of that.
What stands out about the leadership group so far, what you've learned about them that leads you to believe they're going to be able to get this back on?
Oh, 100% I do believe that. Yeah, these guys, they want to win. Trust me on that. They want to win, and they want to. There's a sense of frustration for sure, and we got to look past that. We can't, complain about or get undisciplined because teams are checking us hard. And that's what you got to get through. They checked hard tonight. Florida checked hard. Teams are going to check hard. Every game we play, they're going to check hard. And you got to fight through the check. You got to fight through the checking. And, we checked well tonight, too. We didn't give up a ton, 24 shots. I mean, there's always things you can clean up. But we can do a lot more with the puck. We can make it a lot harder on other teams with the puck, and we're not right now. Reluctant to shoot in the first two periods. It's all those little things.
You adjusted the lines in the third. Was that
just trying to get something going? Trying to find some
part of that as well, just to try and get him with different guys in there.
Yeah, I mean, I had him tonight starting with Willie and Yarny, but I'll look at the lines and figure that out.
He left the game.
He got a stick in the eye. He's fine though. Yeah, I do get some stitches.
Where are you at with Austin's game? He said, he was talking to us in there, everyone's going through something at this time of year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's, this time of year, there's always guys that are playing hurt or banged up and stuff, and he's no different. But, he'll fight through it. That's, he doesn't want any sympathy.
Coach Berube, kind of a revealing answer or two there. I like how he detailed how they weren't playing their game to start, and clearly Ottawa played their game right through. So you could see that. I mean, we're talking about a goal here. That's how slim this is, and that's sort of just playing your own game sets the table, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was a tight checking game, right? And he described, they were checking, but Toronto did outcheck them. The hits were 40-24 in favor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. But what he's talking about is, they were clogging the neutral zone up. They were making them take the scenic route to pucks where, what he's talking about, you got to fight through your checks. You cannot go on the outside. You got to go through the middle to go retrieve a puck. You got to go through the middle to get to the net. You got to go through the defense and get there for a rebound, right? So that's what he's talking about. But what I like about in his tone, there's no panic. There's they're trying to tee him up to throw somebody under the bus, and he's not going to do that. He's a pro's pro, and he's a player's coach as well too. But he demands excellence, right? So again, it is a down slope right now with regards to how they're playing. But again, that's why I'm wondering right now: is it injuries? Is it fatigue? What is it? But whatever it is, they have to figure it out because again, we talked about the Tampa Bay Lightning now, who has more regulation wins right now, so they're currently sitting second in the division. It was a 4-point game with the Ottawa Senators now, who are trying to climb out of a wild card position and possibly catch you at third. So I think with that, it's going to force Toronto now to sort of speed up and find out what these issues are, because again, these teams now are we could be talking about them in a playoff wild card in 2 weeks. I don't think that's going to be the case. Matthews and Marner, these guys are too talented of players to really focus on that. I think they get out of the slump a lot sooner than later.
Here's what I want to close on. If you're on the Panthers or you're on the Senators, your coach is telling you to play that way, to drive them to the outside, clog the middle up, and so when it works,
slow the game.
Yeah, but
slow the game down.
But when it works, it tells you something, doesn't it?
Yeah, it slows the game down, and it doesn't necessarily panic. It almost hypnotizes Toronto. They've been hypnotized at times.
Yes.
But they did a good job in the third period. How do they figure that out now going in? How do they add that third period now to the first period, right? They only had 5 shots. How do they start with 11 shots and build on that? You got to build. They turned it on at the end, but you have to find a way to start like that and build towards, peaking at the end of the game.
When I count to 3, you'll make the stretch pass. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Matthews goes bar down.
Boy.
You are getting very scory.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Well done, Stu. Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, this is Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM. Head over to SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, for the best hockey talk.
Find the person that's been kidnapped, disable the bomb, stop the terrorist, get to the stage on time so you can get up and do your stand-up comedy when the audience is waiting. The ticking clock makes people realize we don't have time to screw around. We got to fix this and do it right now. So that was, in many ways, as miserable it was for, and particularly with my team, because I had a great team but they did the heavy lifting because in essence, we had to do everything on handshakes. You're not going to get everything documented, but you're talking about the most honorable parties on earth, the mayor, Fox, Liberty Media. When they shake your hand, it's gold. And so we got it all done, and here we are.
What was it like this is 1997, so no e-transfers. What was it like to tell the Rangers, to quote a song, to take this and shove it? Who made the call and said, by the way, here's the check for Joe Sakic, bye-bye, NYC?
Well, Pierre went to Joe's house and delivered the money. I got up with Liberty and Fox and the mayor at City Hall, and we announced the arena deal, Fox and Liberty. And we were coordinated. It was choreographed. And then I was a speechwriter when I was a kid. And I had the blessing to do some work for the governor of New York when he was vice president, Nelson Rockefeller. And he had that famous picture where he was being heckled and he offered his opinion of that. And that picture of him flipping the bird was, I figured, a nice gift to send Dave Checketts, who's a good friend of mine, by the way.
I love it. I never knew that. I love it.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the latest news on the only 24/7 station dedicated to the National Football League.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, March the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 12:30 p.m., Buffalo